Pray, pray, pray.
Come on, Black Jesus.
Black Jesus, that's my guy.
Do y'all have the black saints in your in the Catholic churches you be in? Like
Yeah, there's some black saints. There's not a lot.
No, I'm talking about like the ones, all of them depicted as like black. No.
Oh.
Like at Saint Sabina.
Oh, it's working,
I
y'all.
haven't been to Saint Sabina.
It's working.
Ah, okay.
Let's sit.
But no.
No.
No. Generally no, because the churches are relatively old. Like at least 60 years old. Most of them.
Gotcha.
Coming on your mind.
Y'all, we's live on YouTube.
Yes. Like on YouTube. What's the YouTube handle?
The Maze Jackson page.
The same. Awesome.
Technology is rocking me, and now I'm free. Uh-oh, we got you. What's up, YouTube? Load them comments. Give them all to me.
Vroom, vroom. Oh. Oh. For daddy's ball. What's this?
Dun 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 dun.
Ready?
Dun. Hold on, let me go to the Maze Jackson page. Let me go to this. Edit live video. Last step, people. I guess cross dissolve. Let's get us Leo. Y'all prefer comments?
On the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind. Does it do something to the data or anything
No,
like that?
it doesn't. Ty, hit that door, bro. Skiddy. I'm ready. Summer, summer, summertime. Here it is, the groove, slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance that's gotten to be a little bit out of control. It's cool to dance, but what about a groove that swoops and rules romance? Give me a soft, subtle mix. Ty, did you lean? Can I get you to come back this way, son?
Can't never go back.
Pop in my CD and let me run around. This is summertime. Let's get it! Looking at this generation of bliss. Don't let no one put you down. Make you see your smile. Boom, boom. Play the big black. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, Todd, how you feeling this morning, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. Thank you.
You're feeling great, man. Well, you know what? I feel good. That you feel good. I feel great. Let's get this thing cracking. Let me say what's up to my girl, Ruthie Mo in the building. Ruthie Mo, how you feeling this morning?
Listen, it's summertime shot.
It's summertime.
Why are you wearing that fleece?
No, it's cold up in here.
Oh, Todd, you shady wrong for that.
You know Todd always waking up with the shade.
Yes.
About 7 o'clock is on and popping.
All right. Well, let me tell y'all what. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, plus Miss Ruthie Moore. Now, let me tell y'all what. We cannot do this thing without saying what's up to the musical conductor of the soul plane, Miss Sonia Escobar. Sonia, how you feeling this morning? Okay, well, you know what? You feeling good. If you feeling good, I'm feeling great. Let's do this. Let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. Let's get this thing up, and away. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all, let's do this. Let's say what's up. So, first of all, I hope you were running through the airport quickly and got here, because it looks like, y'all, we are about to be shut down again. Again. The corona crisis has not stopped in. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy, right? The corona crisis in Chicago is back up, and it seems like everybody's getting locked down again.
It's a corona crisis across the nation. We're just trying to pretend it's not, because we want dollars to circulate.
So what do we do once the dollars stop circulating? Because I'm telling you now, it's getting ready to be crazy, Todd. I think.
I don't know. I don't know. That's not one of the problems I have, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
You know, I think part of the overall strategy to keep the dollars not only flowing, but to take the responsibility off of government to have to bail out these businesses is to allow them to voluntarily shut down. You do these soft rollbacks. You don't mandatorily say you have to close, because then somebody else might have to foot the bill for that if we look at how the government has been able to step in to protect some of these businesses.
You know what? That Ruthie
That
Moore.
was economics for you.
Listen, I'm kind of peeping it a little bit. I see the game, but I think that if businesses are forced to shut down, I do think government intervention is necessary.
So can they send me another $1,200?
You got $1,200?
I was shocked.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't seen no recovery. They be like, nah, dog. They be like, I be like, hey, I saw it. No. And then I was scared.
You start driving a Yugo like me, and you'll get $1,200.
Now, Todd, you know what? That makes me think of Take Me Back. Now, we got a new feature coming up. It's called Take Me Back Tuesday, and you just took me back. A Yugo. Now, I bet you Ruthie don't even know, and Sonya is looking like Yugo, huh? Remember when the So I'm gonna tell y'all remember the Yugo, Todd?
Oh, most definitely.
It's like that, and I threatened my kids with that.
And a lawnmower engine.
Right, and I remember threatening my kids with, I'm gonna get you a Yugo, and they were like, huh? You know, you say, huh? You know how Todd does the, huh? It was just like that. They were like, Yugo? That ain't no threat to me.
Yeah, they don't know what it is.
Because they don't know what it is. Right. So today at 8:30, I want to lighten it up. Right. One of the things I'm trying to do is figure out some good features for the day, and so we're gonna do.
It's only Tuesday.
Well, I want to do Take Me Back Tuesday, and you know what I was thinking.
So we're gonna do Shady Wednesday.
Hey man, we could. You know what? I mean, think about them. I mean, I'm looking for the days. We're trying to. Todd, no, watch out for Todd, because he's the shady one. You know, Todd will send the low key shade on you all the time. Now I'm excited to announce, guys, that we continually upgrade. So now you can catch us on. So first of all, this is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Did we take the plane up yet? We're up 60,000. All right, I want to make sure. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Now I want to tell you all the places you can get us live. Yes. Right now you can go to WBGX 1570 AM. You can tune in on your radio dial. Now, if you're a little bit more technologically savvy, you riding in the car and you want to do something, then maybe what you want to do is download the TuneIn app. Now you got to go to the Google Play Store or the App Store, download it. Right, there's a free version, so don't everybody keep telling me, oh, it's $9.99. No. It's a free version. Click the X out of that when they tell you to pay screen, and then load in 1570 AM WBGX in the search bar, and you will find us, and it'll say Big Gospel Express. Don't be confused. It is still What's in it for the Black People Radio from 6 to 9 every morning. Then, if you're not going to do the TuneIn app, you can go to watch the reality show that we call The Maze Jackson Show Behind the Scenes on Facebook Live. Now, check this out. You can go to the Maze Jackson page. You can go to Maze Jackson, my personal page, because we, I done worked out a little technology. Also, want to welcome the YouTube audience, because we are YouTube Live today as well as LinkedIn. So, you can catch us on LinkedIn Live,
Man, I
YouTube.
have to go back to that LinkedIn thing. I didn't know it was so many things on LinkedIn.
Man, LinkedIn, I feel like I've been missing my whole... Like, I was like, I didn't have to stay unemployed for so long. Right?
Oh.
Really? You know what? LinkedIn has some...
I guess I'm going to have to go back to LinkedIn and then, redo my bio, since I didn't put anything in there in, like, last year or something.
See? Yeah. Now, all right, now, I'm going to tell y'all.
And also, I'll do a little gospel. This little light of mine,
I'm going to let it shine.
Let it shine.
They sang that at the Catholic Church?
No.
When I was young.
No, he didn't. No, they didn't.
They
didn't.
Not with that much soul.
No. You know, and they know they didn't. Like, they had to put their hands in their pockets. This little light of mine.
Don't be a hater.
I'm gonna let it shine. I remember I used to love this little light of mine. I'm going. You know what, y'all?
That's because you were trying to bring the gospel to the white folks.
Yes, I was.
You had a job.
I was a minister of music. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I got my co-host George Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. We are up to 60,000 feet now. Look.
Oh, I also meant to tell you that yes, I can do a segment. I can do what I found on Netflix while I was sitting in my chair.
Ooh. I'm going to be like, snap your fingers. Can you snap your fingers after you watched it? All right, you know what? Let me stop. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this mix from Sonia Escobar. Hey, I just want to remind you all, shout out to Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson. Don't forget to pick up your PPE products from him. Very first, one of our very first
How do you
sponsors.
get those?
You got to go to his spot. You got to go to the website. I'm going to get that information and I'll give it to you.
Oh, good, because I need some stuff for when Claire goes to school.
You know what? You sending her back to school.
Yes, I'm sending her back to school.
Okay. See, look, you sound like Donald Trump. Look. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you what, though.
Well, they have a plan.
I'm going to tell you.
We'll set the plan already.
I'm going to tell you what. When they sent that bill, I was like, somebody going somewhere. Look, This is the Maze Jackson Show.
Same thing.
This is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this mix from Sonia Escobar. All right, y'all. So I'm checking to see if y'all all there. Is everybody there? What's up to the YouTube audience? Alvin E. Norton, I hear you being a traitor. Shout out to Tanya Robinson. We got about, I had a nice little YouTube audience following at one point. It's a lot of YouTube people that don't like to be seen.
Oh, and that's the best way?
If they can do
to watch things?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not.
I think more people have their TVs hooked up to YouTube than they likely do Facebook, so it's easier for them to watch it on their TVs.
You know what? And Facebook makes it so easy now. All you gotta do is hit the button.
I would never even think of putting Facebook on my TV until you just said that.
Really?
Yeah.
And just like this, right?
Yeah.
And they make it so easy now. Like for people being home, I'm always like, yo, why don't you put me on? What's up, Hassan? You on? So I want y'all to know. How do I do this? Let me let y'all know y'all got some different joints going on. I'm looking square best to you, baby. All right, let me tell y'all. See, this is a different maze angle. All right, y'all. So check it out. You could possibly be on the Maze Jackson page. You could possibly be on the...
Yeah, Ruthie. Age is terrible. It's taking away my 3-point shot. I can't get that far back no more.
You got to do WNBA 3-pointer.
What? That sounds about... You know what? Can I tell you, it's crazy to watch. First of all, I am so clear that I don't know very much about basketball because watching my son take a 3-point shot effortlessly, like, I mean, he literally walks up and just is like, psh,
and he's a little guy.
And I'm like heaving the ball, right? Like trying to. I mean, it is. Mm-hmm. I'm like literally trying to get it there, and he's like flicking the wrist back.
You got that technique.
It's amazing to. It has been amazing to see him get his height. Let me back up.
Is he still shorter than me?
He might be. Just how tall are you? You know what I'm saying?
6.5 maybe.
Oh yeah, he's shorter than you. Yeah, he's shorter than you.
Good, 'cause I can still shack him.
What is exciting for me is he has always been the littlest guy on the court, right? And so it's almost like all the things he could do.
May sounds like my dad.
What?
My dad, even though he always thought, I don't know why you're on that court, you should be in your office thinking of something. But he would be like, he was talking to friends or associates, and it's like downtime for him. He'd be like, I can't believe I watched Todd and he's battling with those big guys. He'd be proud that this little 150-pound person be battling with these guys who are all like 180 or better.
Well, yeah, and it's like I think about like watching him play all this time and being like such a little guy. So it's like everybody always wants to guard him because he has the skills, but they could just.
That was me.
He could punch.
I got the little guy.
Right. They can bump him and he could get him off his square. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I stopped going to the hole. I was like, why am I taking this beating? Because as soon as people see you, they just like, let me whack this guy.
Right.
Okay.
But it was good. It's good so he used to always be the smallest kid in the gym. Now he always had handles. The challenge is
that's the best thing.
He couldn't.
I didn't have that.
He didn't have the size to manage what he could do with his body, with his hands. So it was great to see him finally grow and not be the smallest kid in the gym, but also walk out on the court with some confidence, like, oh yeah. And then to see the bigger, like I watched him the other day play up from, they put him on the small kid court, tried to, and by the end of the game, they was like, no, get over here. Right. You're over here. You will be playing with the, and then to watch him hit the dude like he's on the team with the best dude. Mm-hmm. So it's like we always on the team with the worst dudes. So he'll hit you with the pass and you'll get hit in the face instead of taking the break. And right. Instead, like he come to the cup and he's looking to pass because he know everybody gonna collapse on him, right. And to see him dish it and the dude be like, BAM! Right? It's just excited to see. I was excited to see him finally get his you dig. All right.
You dig, yeah.
Okay, we can get back.
Dag, Ruthie. You gotta know some song from the 80s, it's gonna be this one?
I know this one. Come on.
Yeah, see?
I was a black girl before.
You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And hey, Todd, look, we are on all the platforms this morning. You can get us on Facebook Live. You can get us on the personal page, the professional page. You can go to YouTube. You can go to LinkedIn. Now, also, you can listen to us on WBGX 1570 AM. We have renamed it What's in It for the Black People Radio. But if you go on the TuneIn app, it's going to be Big Gospel Express. Look, we giving you that morning smoke. We giving you, we connecting it all, connecting all the dots. All right, I'm going to run through some headlines. Also want to remind you all, 7 o'clock, I think, no better guest for what's happening right now in Springfield than our upcoming guest. Former State Representative Ken Duncan will be in the studio with us live. We are going to be talking about kind of, I was writing my notes down about Ken. And, sometimes mad as I be at Ken, sometimes I was writing my notes down. You write your notes down, you write everything down. You be like, dang, He been with me a long time. You know, like, you've been through a lot of stuff together. You be forgetting, you know, you make it through something and you forget, and then you say, dang. You know, I was just thinking, my first interaction with state government and a big government contract was because Ken Duncan was fighting for black people to participate in the Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project. And I was a beneficiary of that, but it also turned out to be probably one of the worst business decisions that I ever made, with probably the largest award. We'll talk about all of that stuff, because it's like the green team makes you, even when you get paid, they got to get paid. And if you didn't get paid, then you caught a federal investigation. And then they still got paid. Crazy, man. All right, look.
That was the most interesting story.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm telling you, I got that contract, $4 million, largest. You know what? I'm gonna talk about that. We're gonna save that. 7:00. You all will not want to miss this interview. I think that it's been a long time since we've heard from Duncan. But with everything that is going on right now, I think he's in a perfect spot to give us a unique perspective. Let's go here. The city. I said the city's closing again. The Christopher Columbus statue is under attack again. Ruthie, I watched the video.
Were you out there, Ruthie?
No.
You don't have a rope?
Hey, first of all, we can't get a rope. First of all, you know, black people with ropes, you know, that's
do they sell rope in the city?
Not to black people. Right. They're like, that's, you know, black people in a rope is kind of, I'm going to talk about that because I got a few things I want to say about that. I don't know if I'm going to be popular after what I have to say, but I do have some things that I want to say after watching all the videos. Okay. David Brown tells the cops to pull out all stops. They can wear anything they want. Now they finna start wearing brass knuckles.
No.
You say it. Look, see, there go Todd again. No, it'll never happen.
Brass knuckles are illegal. I don't think he meant that you can.
So they're going to start wearing them sap gloves again.
Wow.
You know them sap gloves? You know what I'm talking about?
No, but it sounds dangerous.
A sap glove is like gloves loaded with, they used to be tree sap, but they're loaded with a liquidy substance to make them, that when you get hit,
oh wow,
it's like getting hit with a sack of nickels.
Oh, it's like a blackjack.
Yeah, but it's a glove.
Uh-huh.
It's all wrapped up in the glove, so you know when they put on. You ever wonder why cops load up with the black gloves? You ain't never seen like when they.
No, I've seen them. I know, and I didn't wonder. I was thinking, okay, this guy's seen too many movies. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, well this guy, they got all types of little secret things they can do. Real quick, fast food healthcare workers are marching. I just want to tell y'all, I feel like I'm living in a Running Man movie or something. Like I feel like all the stuff I used to watch on the news. Like, you know, when you were watching TV, you were saying Red Dawn was on, but like, you know, I used to sit in the 80s and watch movies about what the future would be like, and there would be TV screens.
I tell you all the time, if you want to listen to any prophets, go back and get some sci-fi from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Well, I'm going to tell
and
you,
the 50s,
I feel like every time I see these outbreaks and these people in the streets, I feel like we've normalized it, but like I feel like if we would have watched it like 20 years ago, we would have been like, oh my God. It's like the stuff that we're watching, like watching that police video of the people attacking the police and stuff, I really do feel like, and I feel like this is like a sci-fi movie, like we are, how far away are we from like Mad Max? Not Mad Max.
Well,
not Mad Max.
That's too far.
That's too far, but like when you see these...
But you're right. Running Man is actually probably one of the better books that you can choose, because if you actually read the Running Man...
He said the book.
Yeah.
I said the movie. This dude talking about the book.
Unlike the movie, which had to be kind of stylized.
Richard Dawson.
To get everyone interested. The book was darker.
How much darker could it be? Golly. All right, well, here's my thing.
There was more detail, of course.
This is what I feel like. I feel like, you know, like when you used to see like the Batman movies and all that stuff, and it would be gloomy, and people would be walking by the streets, and there are riots everywhere.
I was like, why would you live in Gotham?
Right.
Terrible place.
Well, I feel like Gotham is here, right? And I'm just suggesting that and now with these troops coming, or these secret agents that drive by in vans and snatch you up.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got to be careful with this guy.
Then think about this though. But at the same time, you got aldermanic offices getting bricked, right, in broad daylight. Like I do feel like we're in a descent. Now, law and order is probably the wrong choice of words because of its negative connotations, but I do feel like we're in a descent, and I feel like this descent.
You mean civilization?
No, I don't know if it's civilization. I feel like when the Roman Empire was going away.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're in the end of an empire. Like the end of when all when
nothing lasts forever.
Right. Well, and we've been about 400 years.
I'm looking at it like you said a descent. I see it like an uprising, like a rebirth.
And it's funny because
you young people who don't know nothing, I just don't understand.
I think the old way has to go.
And
revolutions are bloody. They are not peaceful.
So here's
Did you see what happened in the French Revolution?
What happened, Todd?
Well, see, the problem with revolutions, if there's no plan to it, the only thing that happens is you just keep killing people.
Right.
I think we can't keep going the way that we're going.
So here's what I'm saying. I think this is important.
Mr. Moderator?
No, I'm not. Imagine me, the moderator, when I'm usually the instigator. But I think that's really my point. Like, I think we're at the end. We're looking at the end of an empire as we know it, and I think we are at the end of the. I feel like we're in the process of declining as a world superpower, right? And we are now leaving the space of being at the top of
China's
the realm.
at the top.
Well, I'm saying as our internal strife continues, right? It is only going to further our descent, and I think it's going to descent as a world power. Now, I'm not judging.
You know what you missed?
What I missed?
Last year, Mays was hot on the. Dang.
So why don't you do this? Why don't you save it, because you've been hanging out with my cousin probably, and save that till we come back, and then we'll continue that plus the social media question of the day, because I want to understand, why is the black fight at the Christopher Columbus statue? Why is the black fight there? We have like living monuments to living racism in Chicago right now, and the white folks got us fighting at the statue. Mike Madigan. We're going to talk about it when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
Oh, now I got it. I couldn't get the old wives' tale out of my head, but it's the Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
Oh, this is the Handmaid's Tale.
I watched it.
You don't think we're close?
So, in order for the Handmaid's Tale to happen, I feel like it depends which direction are white women gonna go. If it were because I see them at the statue. They trying to tear down Christopher Columbus.
That's the crazy.
They go with white men. Wherever white men go, they follow.
But I agree. I agree with you. But I'm just wondering, if we get to handmaid status, will the white women stay with the white men, or will they say, okay, we can't live in this dystopian place?
No, I think that the white women always side with the white men. They did the same thing during slavery, right? Like, there's going to be the liberal white women that you see that I feel like the liberal white women are going to go and try to beat fighting, and you see white women at the statue, but most of the white
women... You need them. How else you going to have handmaids?
Well, I mean, those are the people that they subject, right?
Exactly, right.
They're like, you gonna be the good birth, and those are, and if you watch Handmaids, like the remember the doctor who was with the glasses, and they made her a handmaid, and she had to be birthing babies, right? It's like, those are the ones, because the old white ladies in the suburbs gonna have the dried up, man, I'm telling you.
But you know what? I keep up with like just international and global stories and things that's going on. So I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised what's happening in America, because if you've been looking across the globe, there's been upheaval and uprisings everywhere. And like you said, like, we are kind of losing our superpower status. So why wouldn't it come here too?
Yeah, I think that the reality is, that America has run its course as the Americans. Like, I don't think we'll be the dominant, and I think this whole process that we're living through right now is lording over the end. I'm not saying we're gonna all end and the world will end, but I think that America will be sort of like when you go to France, or when you ain't walking in this mug like, oh my God, America's coming in to stomp through and save everybody. Like, we'll be a player forever, but I don't think we will be like...
I think that would be more like England. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Because, we love to make fun of France. Because they can't fight.
I think it's about nationalism. And what does nationalism
Oh,
look
this
like?
is just history. Then it's a circle. I always say it's a circle. It's just coming.
Right. I'm saying there's like if you watch the Roman Empire, I mean all the empires, they run and they are at a point where people think they can never ever be conquered,
Right.
and then it's like they expand past their borders, and then they've also just like America taken in so many other people that the purest of their culture. And I'm not saying it was always good for us.
I saw your air quotes. I saw them.
But the American thing is now like think about like a Ilhan Omar who's like America's bad but she's in Congress, right? Like think about now their patriotism is not even necessarily pro-America. It's like tear down America. But anyway,
No. What makes America strong is its ability to change.
morning outside I see the rain is falling.
I'm old. It don't matter no more.
Whoa. Boom. Inside I'm slowly dying, but the rain won't hide my crying. And you, don't you know my tears will burn the pillow? Set this place on fire, 'cause I'm tired of your lies. All I needed was a simple hello. But the traffic was so noisy that you could not hear my cry. I gave you my love in vain.
Such pleasure, my heart never knew such pain.
All alone on a Sunday morning, outside I see the rain is falling. You are listening to What's in it for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson.
Who's this singing now?
This one is Deborah. Wait, this is it's Allure and what's old boy with the my bump is getting closer, baby, getting
I don't think I can tell that.
Rel. What's his name? RL. Not from 112. From
Is he the guy who shot Megan?
Megan the Stallion shot.
Right.
She wasn't running a race and didn't break her leg. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what they do to... Let me stop. Anyway, hey y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And Miss Ruthie Moore. Hey y'all. Social media question of the day. So I have been watching... Like, did you ever play Capture the Flag, Todd?
I know the game. I'm not certain if we ever played that in gym or anything.
In gym?
Is that
We played it in the... You ain't played it in the woods by your house? So we used to play... Ruthie, you should be able to... Ruthie, you laughing hard. So hold on, Ruthie. See, like, we used to play Capture the Flag in Bolingbrook.
Uh-huh.
See, watch all my haters. Here they come. So we used
if I'd been born like 10 years earlier,
Mhm.
I would have been able to do... Well, I wouldn't because we wouldn't have been able to live in that neighborhood. But they were wooded areas. They were,
Right.
But not by the time I got to Avalon, they...
cut all that down.
houses. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. We played this game. We played Capture the Flag, and we would go out in the woods, and we would build forts in the cornfields, and like you would hide your little, and then we would play war, right? And everybody would get fireworks, and they would get pretend guns and BB guns, and we'd be out there, and we would be shooting. You put on your army fatigues and all your stuff you got from the surplus store, and then you go out and you shoot each other and try to play Capture the Flag.
This is truly suburbia.
Right. Well, I'm saying then you go on the cliffs and all that stuff, and you know, like you would be climbing down the hill, and somebody would see you on the hill and shoot a bottle rocket at you while you was up there, and it was. But anyway, we played Capture the Flag.
Did they have to hit you?
I mean, it was really to make you jump, and then you were supposed to jump like the movies, like Rambo, and then jump off the hill and roll down and be like. Then you
So
gotta
you're
jump.
hit. That's what I.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then, and the goal was to capture the flag. Why do I feel like the Columbus statue right now is the white kids from the suburbs playing Capture the Flag?
That's pretty good.
So, I mean, I'm saying, like, I'm watching all of the things, and I feel like the white kids know how to play, but the black kids don't.
They don't know,
Right,
the
so
rules of this game.
right, like the white kids know what the game is, and the black kids are like, we're going to march, and the white kids are like, we're going to play capture the flag. The black kids are showing up with their video cameras, right? The white kids are showing up with ropes
and frozen bottles.
Frozen bottles. Then they got they pop up PVC pipe projectiles, but sharpened.
What is that?
They basically the signs, the signs. They sharpen the ends and then throw them like spears.
These people are
Todd. Hold on. Let me take it another step. Then you watch the show, you watch the camera, and they got. If you watch it from above, when they getting ready to take, action, they pop up they black umbrellas, so the cameras can't identify them from the top. Meanwhile, black folks just walking along. I got a video camera.
They got no idea what's going on.
No idea what's going on. Then all of a sudden, a war breaks out. Like straight up, the white kids start shooting bottle rockets. They play and capture the flag, and the black kids out there like we thought we was at a march.
Did you see Panic Room with Jodie Foster?
Nope.
Good movie.
Nope.
Yeah, and Forrest Whitaker.
Okay.
Which is the important part. That's what happened to Forrest. They were going to steal something, but there was one guy
who was like a rapist murderer. Like,
exactly.
Let's get it on.
And he was like, "What's he doing here?"
So now here's the challenge, right? This and I also want. Did y'all see the pictures of it?
I watched the videos. I tried to look at all the angles. I even looked at the CPD body cam footage.
Okay, and how did you perceive it? Ruthie?
Okay, so allegedly,
I love
not
it.
there.
I love
Allegedly, it did appear to be a coordinated attack against the police. If you look at global uprising and protest, then you know some of those tactics and techniques have been used in Hong Kong, particularly because of the technology used to identify people. So you telling me that it's a pandemic, I get to go out with a mask on, I got an umbrella, you're not peeping these frozen water bottles as projectile missiles because
who saw that coming?
You think this is just some water. So I thought that it was pretty well organized and an attempt to really take down that statue. Now the question is, how much more CPD money
to cause chaos?
But hold on, how much more CPD money is going to be spent on guarding this statue?
Now here's what I'm saying. I'm saying what's next then. So Ruthie is a look at her preference is give him the statue. Like Ruthie is like.
I think that's exactly what you're saying.
Give
up the statue.
So what else? So here's me.
Give it up.
So here's me.
But I see the statue as being symbolic of not letting mayhem reign.
So this is the thing. Remember when Osama bin Laden, they buried him at sea because they knew if they put him in a place, people were going to gather and use that place as a rallying point. Tear down the statue,
and some other people would come and try to dig him up and burn it.
If they don't tear the statue down, it will get torn down.
Oh yeah, that statue is like a beacon.
Hey y'all, all right. Let me ask y'all because I gotta know what the people are thinking. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Now
But this also goes to show that, unfortunately, black people don't study enough history to know that when white people gather like this, they gonna be violent.
So, well, here's what I say, and here's my question. Why is that the hill black people getting ready to get their head knocked in on?
Because they don't pay attention to history.
Look, and Ruthie is dead set looking. She like, give us the statue. Look,
Look at the 1960
Can we do this?
Democratic Convention. It wasn't black folks who were throwing bottles.
But guess where the National Guard went?
Well, you know how that
to the west side. All right, now, and here's my thing. So you got to understand my frustration, and I need y'all to give me a call. 872-259-7474. My frustration is, you see how your resolve is like, give us that damn statue. I feel like there are living monuments to white racism right now walking amongst us in Chicago. I'll give you an example. Michael Madigan. Now, who has done more harm to black Chicagoans, period, than the Christopher Columbus statue or Mike Madigan? I'm going to say that when you talk about the carrying out the physical embodiment of white supremacy, not benign white supremacy, but Northern white supremacy, and I know nobody likes to think of it like this, but when you look back over the last 40 years, you're going to be able to point to something and someone and some people. Now, here's what I say. If you ask me who did the most damage to black people between Christopher Columbus and the Green Team in Chicago, in Illinois, and here's what I'm saying. I would, now if you want me to be outside and we want to tear down some monuments to racism, let's look at the black people in Illinois being in last of all 16 economic indicators. And let's say, what's a root cause of that? Who voted for that? If we want to talk about tearing down monuments to racism, let's talk about who created the new system of separate but equal right here in Illinois while we were alive. I feel y'all on the statue as far as, like, I feel like I have some affection towards Christopher Columbus, and I'm going to say why. Just don't be mad. When I was a kid, Christopher Columbus was like the surprise off day of the year. Right? I'm just being honest. Like, you just rolling through like, dang, man, it ain't nothing. I'm ready to get out of school, and then all of a sudden Christopher Columbus Day comes. Now, you can change it to Indigenous Peoples Day. You can do whatever you want. But I am suggesting that I am not about to fall on the hill. I don't think black people need to be running up the Christopher Columbus hill when we got straight up white racists who have done it to you. You still got people from Harold Washington era who told you what they said and thought about you. But I'm going to tell you why you're not going to them. Because that's some people's daddies. That's some people. Somebody go knock on Lisa Madigan's door and ask her what she thought. I just think that we let white folks take our girl Miracle, and I'm gonna embrace her. She got hit in the mouth, unprepared for the white uprising that she was participating in. Now, I ain't been to no Indigenous Peoples March, and I ain't tripping. But again, here we go one more time, being in somebody else's business without dealing with our own. All right, y'all. When we come back, I'm going to take your calls. 872-259-7474. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Why is the black fight at the Christopher Columbus statue? We'll be back. All the time.
Symbols.
Is Facebook still skipping bad guys?
It's a little delayed, just because I can see how I'm getting.
No, it's delayed, but I'm trying to. The delay is because they put a buffer time in there to allow the signal to catch up. So I'm trying to see if it's still skipping bad and freezing, and it could be I might have to change the settings on my Go to the Maze Jackson page. So I think probably what I gotta do.
On Facebook?
No, I'm talking. Yeah, no, the Maze Jackson page. I think I probably gotta optimize the settings for the new. So basically, what I'm doing is doing all three channels. And so what? Dang, Ruthie. So Audrey saying hello. Sheila Ronald Lewis is over on YouTube. What's up, Alvin Norton? What up, Dub? Yeah, we're back on all of them. We got 28 live over at YouTube. I'm trying to. I think we just gotta optimize the settings. Ruthie, move your face. Yep. We gotta be on the lookout for. Okay. Cut that hair!
Which I did.
What's that noise? Oh, Mom, I'm just listening with the Beastie Boys.
Check.
You gotta fight for your right to party. You are listening to What's in it for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Touch Doja, plus Miss Ruthie Moore, who is live with us as well.
Ruthie's partying.
Ruthie, like, man, look at she. Remember that when it was, do you remember Quiet Riot when they played Bang Your Head?
Mm-hmm.
Metal Health will drive you. You know, Ruthie, why you make that face?
I ain't never heard that.
Ruthie, you from Kankakee. You supposed to know these things. You supposed to know these
What are you
things.
doing in the hills of
Right.
Pembroke?
Pembroke.
We was listening to blues.
I got the
Staple singer, Sam
blues. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all. Look, I want to ask the question one more time. Why is the black fight at the Columbus statue? We got calls, and let's do this. Let's go to the live line and talk to the callers. Caller, you're on the live line. Who we got, Sonia? Sonia, who we got?
Ronnie P.
Ronnie P. from the South Side. What's up?
You got it. Good morning to all of you all.
Good morning.
Ronnie P. from the South Side.
The statue represents one of the biggest flaws this country has ever had. When you're taught somebody discover something when everybody was already there. And the saddest thing about, like you say, black people out there marching and don't know how to add up the war that's taking place. And luckily they not get what they did get hit in the mouth, didn't they? Lost a couple of teeth. But understand, when you got European Negroes that want to be white, not teaching us in our community anything, not nothing. And that's where the situation is where it's at. And yes, martial law is going to take effect. Pull up your deep freezers. It's going to shut down the grocery store. That's my comment.
Ooh, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't even find the deep freezer just for the record. All right, we got another call. Let's go to the live line. Who we got, Sonia?
I could use one.
Charlize.
Charlize, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. How you feeling this morning?
Good morning, Maze.
Good morning.
Ruthie and Sonia.
Hey, hey.
Charlie C.
Good morning.
Talk to us. What you
I
think?
just want to let y'all know I made the switch.
Hey, you made the switch. We appreciate you. Now, you got to tell all your friends and your family and your neighbors, too, you made the switch.
Now, you know I did. I want to give y'all a shout-out, too, for when you made the switch, bringing the millennial back on the show.
I'm going to tell you, the millennial has added so much spice to the show is what I hear on a regular. They be like, I'm so glad you got that Ruthie Moore because you and Todd, y'all out of date. I be like, I'm going to tell you something. I'm fresh. I'm fly. But thank you so much for calling us. We appreciate you. And make sure you tell your friends and family, make the switch. You know what? Because you know you're going to get the truth. Let's go, Sonia. Who else we got on the live line?
I'm like a vintage wine.
It's a white, according to Steve Carell. You know what? Okay, I just need to tell you.
Carell.
Okay.
You know me?
You know what? Have you watched? You gotta watch The Office, y'all. I'm just telling you.
Oh, I never watched that.
Okay, can I tell you something, Todd? And I know this is a squirrel. The Office, I can't even watch nothing on Netflix till I get to the end of it. It's like me and Carrie be watching it, and we be like, "You wanna watch The Office?" We be like, "Yep." 10 episodes later, I like binge watch every day. All right, hey, Sonya, who else we got on the line?
Paul, is that you?
Paul, you on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line.
What's up, Paul? What you got?
It's all good. I like y'all's show. I made the switch with y'all.
Yeah, Paul.
Let me say this here about what happened. I drove down there and filmed it and all that. But let me make this statement here. 2 young boys were shot in Inglewood. Not an alderman, Preckwinkle, the mayor. No one said anything about it. The young girl that got hit in the mouth got her teeth knocked out. Who went down there with the white folks and got her teeth knocked out. Now I want you to hear this real good. 2 young boys got shot, and the alderman of the 20th ward never said anything. The alderman, because she got a part of Inglewood,
The alderman pat down. She never said anything. But all of a sudden, it was so important to talk about this girl that got hit in the mouth by the police. Why? First of all, she got an organization that's being funded by Preckwinkle. Second of all, the whole movement, them people, them young people that you see down at Youth 100, which Kathy Cohn is the owner of that organization. She received $11 million from Barack Obama. That was Youth 100. Then they had Black Lives Matter. Most of those people, young people that's going down there, they're going down there to divert from the violence and the economic disparity of our community. They're telling them that to protest about a bunch of no money, about a bunch of no equality. Look, black folks could have been protesting about Christopher Columbus. That's not the main thing on our agenda. All that is a distraction, so we don't see the mayor. The mayor is behind this. The mayor is funding them people. Some of them protests, I also want to say this here. When the last police commander that got fired, he was funding some of the protesters that you see writing on South Shore. The same protesters that you see down there cussing the police, they were funding them by the Chicago police. We need to put a Freedom Information Act and ask which one of these so-called freedom fighters that's down here cussing the police out was getting money from the police.
Ooh,
that's what's really going on.
Yikes. You know what? That's why you got to be careful listening to the most dangerous social radio experience. Because people, you know, they will pull your car. We're going to have us a section called Pull Your Car. We have a feature called Pull Your Car. All right, let's go to the live line. Who else we got?
Dawn, is that you?
Dawn?
Hey, this is Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
It's so good to be on your show. I love your show. I just wanted to say, as far as the young lady that got hurt, that got hit in her mouth, I just heard that last caller. That was eye-opening, but I was going to say, I don't even think that these young women should be out there because they're being met by police officers. They're usually men. When you watch the videos, they're usually these very big men wearing riot gear, holding batons and sticks, and you got these little girls out there in flip-flops and shorts and stuff, and I don't understand why they're even there, putting themselves in that type of danger. And then I wanted to say about the Columbus statue, I do agree that it in itself is not, the priority for us as a black community. And now when you talk about whoever these organizations are that are, doing this, I think the reason they chose to go there is because it's symbolic and it can get a lot of press attention that they can leverage for something later. I just don't know that they're going to use that leverage for the benefit of South and West Side communities.
Again, thank you. First of all, caller, thank you for your call. Again, what made Columbus the priority right now? White people. I'm just saying, they are picking our fights right now. Let me take this last call. Who we got, Sonia?
Caller?
Yes, Reggie.
Reggie, what's up, man?
You got it. Hey, real quick. I know you know about Mike Madigan control majority of LIUNA, Labor's International of Union North America. That's Local 2, Local 1001s, sanitation, transportation, forestry. So if Mike Madigan using all of these as his foot soldiers, but guess who he got in charge? Black people. So yes, he is our slave master. And I'm a former 1001 official. And I can tell you by stacks, anybody with Sullivan, Lavardi's, all these district council people are getting paid to control black people. Thank you, ladies.
Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Was he talking unions?
He's talking LIUNA, actually. Look, y'all. I'm gonna continue this conversation because there's more to this. We're gonna save it though till 7:30 because when we come back, he's downstairs waiting to get in. It is former 5th District State Representative Ken Duncan. I think it's probably the best time ever to have a conversation with him. Y'all will be back.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago. The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after.
Okay.
I'll get him. I need to.
Okay.
I need time.
He like, I gotta get my mind together for this.
All right, I'll read some of these comments.
Ruthie, yes. Hold on, let me get you solo camera. Oh, like, yeah, boom, boom, yeah.
All right, good morning to social. All these wonderful comments. All right, so Beulah said, it amazes me that we have allowed the George Floyd protest to morph into something but a fight against police brutality. Darlene said, change the names of the following: Balboa Drive, Grant, Washington, and Jackson Park. Valerie said, let's take down the statue, but not all the murderers in Chicago. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Faceplant emoji. All right. Devin said, we just need to focus on police reform, economic development with the goal of reparations. All right. Dennis said, American descendants of slavery should be using their energy for reparations, real tangibles, not signs and symbols or free bus rides.
I like that one.
All right.
You want to give me a test? Test. Can you hear me?
Xaviola, too inclusive and not concerned about self-preservation, building our foundation or our communities. And then it said, to hell with those statues. Where are the reparations in mental hospitals? And Carmen said, you give a mouse a cookie, they come back for the milk. Mace like that one. Okay, so Marjorie said, exactly, Maze. White people are picking our fights and we keep following them. All right. So what else we got? All right. So right now it looks like the social comments are specifically about Miracle, and how it all transpired. All right. We gotta set the studio back up.
Something like that. You're an extensive, your music aficionado. You are the truth.
All right. Like, share the broadcast.
You're the,
hello. All right.
With the headphones, that's just
right here. All right.
We are active.
Man, this is tight.
We're active on social. Just so you know.
Okay. Woo, we tight.
All right. Like,
so
share the broadcast.
Your job to make sure I don't leave my bag.
Probably have to roll together, but I'll try that. Don't go away, I'm no good for you. That's right. Makes come back.
I believe that.
All right. So, just in thinking about what some of the comments are specifically talking about in terms of Miracle, some of those youth activism orgs were kind of named earlier, and I know that the guy mentioned Kathy Cohen. That's Black Youth 100 or BYP 100.
Adjust this to where you need to be able to pull it up. You probably need to bring it this way.
There we go.
It's gonna be tough because it'll be too much hanging.
The sound distance is cool right here. Thank you, sir. You would think Ty would have got me adjusted. But what do I know?
Just lean in. You're probably gonna have to hold that bass down though because it's extended out.
Gotcha.
I can tell you nothing else.
Do I need the headphones?
Is that?
Huh? Yeah. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not.
So again, let that stool down to be kind of closer to tie tight. There's a lever. Let it down.
He is shorter than me.
No doubt. No diggity.
Down.
Dina.
My name is Sheena. Oh, I should have brought a fourth camera in. We could have put it on that one. Then we could have had everybody. Sheena was a man.
What have you guys hit before? Early today on the show.
Ready? You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, but y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the rest of the morning show team. What's up to Miss Ruth and Mo. Ruth and Mo, you looking intense. You're looking focused.
Hey,
You're looking
serious.
like you ready. Let me say this. I got my co-host, Todd Stroger, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. All right, y'all. I have been looking forward to this interview, and I think probably there has not been a better time or timing to have this conversation. I'm going to start by saying, first of all, welcome to the Maze Jackson Show, former state representative of the 5th District, Ken Duncan. Welcome to the show. How are you this morning, brother?
Thank you. Good morning, Maze.
I need you to get to the mic.
Good morning, Maze Jackson, right. in the What's in It for the Black People team here in your new home.
Yes. And Ken, I think what we could do is don't do like Todd and strip the bolts. We'll figure out how we adjust that. But I need you to talk into that mic. Let me start here by saying that for many of you who have listened to the Maze Jackson Show, one of the points of reference that I often use is my experience during the Ken Duncan campaign, in which I would tell you that I learned about the breadth and the width of the Democratic Party. But I want to set this up and how far they would go to keep us. I'm not gonna use plantation. I'm gonna use I'm gonna try and keep it above. So anyway, I'm gonna start because Ken, I was going through my notes, and as I was getting ready to do this, I was thinking how do we start? So I start with just giving you all some of our personal background. Ken Duncan is a member of my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity in Inc. I was instrumental in making Ken Duncan. Literally.
Of course, he's taking credit for that. But go ahead.
No, I mean, but he comes from a long line of men of Phi Beta Sigma who came from Cabrini Green. Alderman Burnett is one. Lloyd, Jake. It's just the men of Phi Beta Sigma were very instrumental in the lives of a lot of young men who came from Cabrini Green. That is not how Ken and I met. Ken and I actually met through Alderman Walter Burnett when Ken was not yet an elected official, but he was very active in the film industry and very active in politics. And I think he was running the Robert Taylor Boys and Girls Club or something to that effect. And he always talked about becoming an elected official, and eventually he became an elected official. When Ken became an elected official, one of the things that he did was he was not always the most get along, go along. He was very vociferous. As Morehouse men are. You went to Morehouse before the dress code, right?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta do that. But let me just tell you, from the point that Ken and I met, Ken, What's in It for the Black People wasn't a thing, but we were always very concerned about making sure black people got their piece. So when we first met, Ken, I think our first actual business experience. What did I have? Oh, our first actual business experience was during the Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project. The Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project was a multi-billion-dollar construction project, and Ken Duncan was determined that black companies would participate. Now, y'all, I was getting my money doing street promotions, marketing, advertising. If you're looking now, you can see I represented Rockefeller, Coke, Sprite, McDonald's, and people like Ken and Alderman Burnett said you need to bring those skills to government. Ken encouraged me to fill out an RFP to do the outreach for the Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project. It eventually became the largest professional service contract ever awarded in the history of the Illinois Department of Transportation's history. You would have thought that would have been the best thing ever. It turned out, and Ken was an advocate and helped us get it. That was when I had my first experience with the Green Team. When after landing the contract, they came to me and said, I need about $3 million of that $4 million that you landed. We were like, man, we'll get 2. We can't give you 3. Ken was like, you ain't got to give up nothing. You get nothing. And we fought, but what wound up happening is when I learned, and Ken fought for us, and we wound up not giving him, but I wound up with a federal investigation, right? And that's when I learned that the Green Team would go to no end to teach you a lesson. You got to play by the rules. It was funny. Lance Lewis said, man, you know you're supposed to pay your tribute. I was like, damn, why I got to pay a tribute for the work that I earned? Then we went on to, I became the first executive director of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus in the history of the caucus during Ken's tenure as the chairman of the Black Caucus. Our goal was to really move the ball forward for black people collectively, him on the legislative side, me using my knowledge as a lobbyist. It was during that time that what I learned is that as long as you're fighting to keep black people apart, you are all good. The second you start to try and unify them for power or economics, that was when the onslaught came. Kim was summarily dismissed as the chairman of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. Shout out to Donnie Trotter for leading the charge. Distinct shout out to Donnie Trotter. There were other members of the Black Caucus who I felt betrayed Ken in the process. And so as a loyal person, when the stuff hit the fan and Ken decided to go a different direction, I stuck with him. I'm loyal to my friends. The election was not very successful, although Ken did get the most votes under my tutelage that he ever got in his electoral history. We got mollywopped by the Green Team, who made it their decision that they said that there would never be, if Ken Duncan would be successful in winning and defying the speaker, that it might set off a chain of events. Here we are now, 4 years later, and it's almost literally, Ken, 4 years to the date, right? Kim Foxx was the election, same election, 4 years to the date, and now we're looking at the head of the Green Team under a tremendous amount of scrutiny. Ken, talk to me. What's been going on, man?
First off, good morning, and thank you for this forum. There's no media or medium today here in the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, or in the Midwest that I'm aware of that really keeps it very specifically black. We always sort of want to hide under the guise of minority, which includes white women, Asian, and of course Latinos. You know, fine and dandy, but the real deal is when you look at the black community, there's the biggest chasm in the world when it comes to economics, when it comes to economic parity, when it comes to vendor and relationship with their government and with the private sector. And so I've always been conscious of that growing up in Cabrini Green, seeing the distinctiveness between the Gold Coast and where we were in the neighborhood, Lincoln Park area. And so I've always asked the question, how is it that we can benefit from the system that doesn't discriminate when it comes to paying taxes, income taxes, sales taxes, garbage taxes, bag taxes, motor fuel taxes? How do we get our fair share? And so I've always also, you know, as a politician, when you get to Springfield, you enjoy the spoils of having Mike Madigan run everything. You really can just get down there and coast as a black man, as a brown person, as a white person, because he has the staff, he has the issues set for you, he does the analysis, and he doles out the wherewithal with the money of the contracts indirectly. So it was, you know, it's an experience that I'll never forget, and you know, I may be down, but I'm not out in terms of where things will head in the future. So I've always taken the job seriously. I never looked at it as sort of a cash cow for me, very similar to a lot of my colleagues who go down there and just sleep, or who just coast or look for their next opportunity, or who enjoy being the celebrity / star, but when they come back to their districts on the west side of Chicago, on the south side, the south suburban area, the western suburban areas, Peoria, East St. Louis, Rockford, they cannot hold their head up high and talk about the level of success or economic participation that they were a part of or not in Springfield. And that's the biggest travesty.
Let me back up real quick, because I think one of the things that I want to do here, Ken, is also, right now, I think there's things that people don't know. I always think of your narrative kind of got hijacked in the media campaign, because most state reps stay pretty anonymous,
right, unless
you raise your head. But Ken, one of the things that I think people don't recognize is, and I talked about this before, Ken Duncan was the person who brought the film industry to Illinois, and I don't know if people recognize that. Ken, just real quick, tell people about that experience.
That was actually, I had fun with that. I was really sort of enamored with the history of the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois and some of the movie projects or television shows that existed. And I simply came up with a tax incentive for anyone who's doing a feature film or a television series to hire black folk at 25 to 30%, and then they can get a tax credit. And that took off like a major positive wave, because we saw Canada doing films or television shows about Chicago. They did Soul Food, they did the movie Chicago. And so we went out to LA, me and Brenda Sexton, who was the head of the film industry, and we went out there and lobbied the Motion Picture Association, Warner Brothers, Fox, Sony, and lo and behold, they came and started setting up shop. The other part was other states started adopting our legislation, and but we were able to be successful, and we came up with shows like Batman, Transformer, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med. So that's the Dunkin law. But we don't want to talk about that. All of the salacious, juicy stuff that makes no sense to anybody.
So I think actually it does make sense to people. I think when black people look around and they see that they are at the bottom of the economic totem pole, I think there's an awakening happening. And it's part of the reason I said, why are we trying to tear down a statue from 1492 when we have living monuments to the economic racism and genocide that has happened against black people here. I want to touch on something though, because I really want to get into this whole Ken Duncan. Ken, during your election, when you decided to go in a different direction, you voted against what the speaker asked you to vote for. There's so much nuance into it, so we can't even get into the nuance of what happened, because it was actually 3 people who voted. But why, Ken?
Who weren't going to vote.
Who weren't, 3 people. Ken, how did you find yourself on the opposite side of the speaker, and how did you find out about the machine? Not the machine, the green team, and the what was that? What did they call it? The talented 20 or whatever they got.
Right.
The magic list. Talk to me about what happened when you decided not to do as told in Springfield.
Well, first off, you have to keep in mind, I'm not a part of that go along, enslave along program that exists down there, and I've never been sort of a follower to that extent, especially when I know that you are consistently ignoring the real needs of the people in the state that we took the oath to serve. And I saw dynamics at multiple levels and times in legislation that we passed, because everything that they passed in the House and Senate, someone becomes a multimillionaire, or someone gets real service delivered to their respective community and meeting a particular need. I saw how the downstaters and the suburbanites were jockeying for major transformation in their respective area. For example, health care. They wanted access to providers, and I think Governor Quinn had changed the repayment scheme, and they protested and got what they wanted. I saw countless scenarios like that, and there were just numerous of issues that the speaker who leads everything, nothing. You can't pass gas in Springfield unless Speaker Madigan sanctions it. And so he never had an ear for anything black specifically, because we never stuck together when it came to demanding what's right and what's due to our respective community.
So Ken, you made a play. Let's just be clear. Ken made a play that was different than. We're gonna roll this because I think this is an important interview. So we're gonna interrupt our commercial breaks right now. So Ken, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ken made a decision. I don't know what the decision was based on, but it was not the decision that the speaker wanted him to make. And however that decision was made, it was positioned and spun as though you were a sellout. explain to me why you did not feel you were a sellout. Like, because it was crazy to me to have white people calling a black person a sellout. And then I really want you to go to the point, because what I think is important for people to understand is that Ken was a member of the House. Mike Casper submitted your petitions. He was on the team. All the people that were his friends and allies, once the switch was turned, even your kid's godmom threw you under the bus. Ken, you decided to go with Rauner.
Speak on it, Maze.
Well, I mean, I watched it. You decided to go with Bruce Rauner, which made you the boogeyman central, and it allowed everybody to call you a sellout. How was one decision that you made able to negate everything that you had done over the last, how long were you?
15 years.
15 years. One decision. How was that able to negate everything you did? And where was the Black Caucus when this happened?
Well, a couple of things. First off, what they did was it was important for them to use the language of myself and our culture against me. They jumped ahead of us. What occurred in that situation was they defined us. They created the narrative. And so sellout was a term that was also, that still is associated with substantive black folk. And they used it loosely just to stay ahead of me and us, if you will. But the real issue was folk who depended on the Democratic Party, i.e. Mike Madigan directly, never had an apparatus that could challenge them even remotely. You have to keep in mind, back in the 70s and the early 80s, when Harold Washington came and when Lou Palmer was a part of this, when you had Seabuck, when you had Jesse Jackson, when you had a strong and emerged and muscled black community, political electorate that said no to the Democratic Party. We were fighting Mike Madigan and the Daily Machine back then. We've always had that type of stronghold and that conscious voice in our community. They saw an emergence of that with myself and some of the folk who were listening to me, other senators and legislators, a handful of them, and they saw that could snowball into a big cascade. And so Mike Madigan, seeing multiple plays before, jumped on that. It wasn't so much about me going with Bruce Rauner. It was about a fund that was created for black folk in particular to have another means of supports to be independent, to be financially independent, so we can run and create our own story and come up with resolutions and legislation that simply included job creation, quality schools investment, and making sure that we are vendors as well, other than just being a part of the prison system, other than being a part of the social welfare system.
So can I ask, so let me jump in here. What I would suggest is that there is everything we talk about is money and economics when it comes to getting elected, right? Even when they talked about campaign finance reform, all it did was say that the speaker could decide who gave the money.
Yes.
He created a law in campaign finance reform that basically said, now Negroes, you can only raise $1,000.
Right.
If you want any more money, you got to come from me. Bruce Rauner became a source, not
the answer.
He became a source to oppose your enemy. My enemy's enemy is my friend. We talk about the fact that nobody black should have. Mike Madigan never came to our neighborhood. Ken then had a defense fund to be able to stand up and say some things. Now, there's no money in the community. Every black person knows that if you want to eat, you got to go to one person. Look at what happened with ComEd. There is no freedom anywhere. So you got two choices. The red or the blue pill. You know how when somebody says, oh my God, Donald Trump is the boogeyman.
Yes.
It's like, Mike Madigan ain't. And so what was able to happen though, and I think what drove me nuts is white folks, think about this. White people who supported Donald Trump took pictures, went, and you know what they did? They were able to emasculate a black man publicly. What did they do? They went and found a domestic or a semblance of a report. And let me just say, because I cut the commercial with the lady. And she basically was like, that's not what happened. When we talked to the police was like, there was no phone cord because it was a cordless phone.
Right.
Now, what you have is the speaker put every... Do you understand? To beat this one black man, they spent more money than any race in the whole, any state rep race in the whole country. They brought the president of the United States down from the White House to come address this need. Think about Think about when they could make the most, supposedly the most powerful man in the country. Speaker Madigan says, we got a Negro we need to whoop. And you, my friend, because we probably got a picture of you doing your Springfield. We need you to... y'all, I know I hurt y'all feelings when I do that.
Look at that. You're not an Obama apologist.
Okay, so now, let me tell you. The President of the United States comes to address a lowly state rep race. Y'all got to ask yourself.
Take it easy now, Maze. I know why Barack Obama did that. You know why? Because there was and follow the legislation, there's $100 million that we set aside for the Obama enshrinement. Check the legislation on $100 million for his library or his center. That's in play. That passed the House and the Senate unanimously, all Democrats.
You voted for it too, didn't you?
I had to vote for it.
See?
The trend. You can't, man. Can you imagine going against Barack Obama in public?
Yes.
Negroes would go crazy. He is our God, but they can't point to one piece of legislation that he did for black folk. Period. Not one. In 8 years.
Now, y'all, can I also just state for the record that the very first person as a member of, I lost my whole Young Democrat organization as the president of the Young Democrats of the ward that will remain unnamed, because we decided we were going to support Dan Hines over Barack Obama. And Ken Duncan was the first person to publicly say has to be the most popular black vote getter in the state of Illinois, I'm with Barack Obama. Stood with his people the whole time. Y'all, and we allowed some white boys who live up north to create TV commercials, to put on radio spots, to come into our neighborhoods, white boys standing on the corners wearing Ken Duncan is a sellout shirts. And we accepted that. So again, when I see all of us going to go fight the Christopher Columbus statue, right? When we going to fight the statue, when the real monument to racism, living, testing, acting, walking, what happened to black people racism is sitting on 71st and Pulaski, and they got a federal indictment and ain't not one, nobody said nothing. Same people that was on TV, that was going on, not one peep. You see how quiet it is in the studio? I ain't even gonna put nobody on blast.
Because the truth is what it is. You have 118 members in the House, 59 in the Senate, 10 blacks in the Senate, about 21 in the Illinois House of Representatives. Now, there is nowhere in the world that any one of us, any member, rank and file, or senior member for that matter, could get away with the abject graft that Mike Madigan puts out there and been consistent with throughout his whole career. There's not anybody around Mike Madigan significantly placed as a staffer or an intern who is not plugged, who does not go into the economic prosperity level once they leave him.
Check this out. I bet if you look at every governmental affairs staff person at every agency, right? That's the head lobbyist for every governmental agency. I bet you, they were approved and appointed. The person that was there, to get it done, you had to go to the speaker.
Mandatory.
You can't have a government. If you got something in Springfield, you got to put my person in. Now, I want you all to think about how all of that. You just watched ComEd. ComEd, think about every black president. Of every time anybody black gets put on, you know what the first stop they have to make is? To Springfield to give up our birthright. He look at he say, let me tell you. So if you become the head black dude at Walgreens, at whatever place, you know what your first thing you want to do is? The first thing you do, what does the speaker want? And you know what he says? Wow. He says, how many jobs you got in all them clerks, and how many manager jobs, and why you got 20% unemployment and people telling you about the social services. Now, I want y'all to understand all this was happening. This happened during economic recessions. They have a bulletproof economy.
100%.
Now, I just want you to understand that the same white people that's pulling down the statues is the same white people that say, let's go, we gonna make this black dude a sellout. We can't allow white folks to pick who our targets are. I think the most offensive thing in my whole entire political career was to watch somebody who ushered Trump in, took pictures, did everything, confidently say what he was going to do to a black man. Confidently. Look me in the face and say, this is what we finna do to this Negro. And now, y'all let him, cause now everybody got revisionist history. Now they got to rename streets. Right? Like, cause what don't nobody really want to happen is, see, if we start looking at the racist history, let's not go to 1492. Let's go back 5 years. Like, y'all wasn't racist 5 years ago. See,
I voted for Barack Obama.
But man,
I watched The Wire.
And so, y'all, it was important. It's important to me because I was thinking the first time, and I really should hold you accountable for this, because the first time that I had a shot at becoming a millionaire, first time. No, government millionaire. Government millionaire.
Oh, you about to blame that on me?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
No, but check it out.
Speak on it.
I will never forget, Tennille and I were wrapping up our office. We were at 1021 West Adams. We were in an office about the size of these two offices, and we were saying, we got to wrap up our business. We're going to work from home. And this was before work from home, because we were falling through the ground because Todd wouldn't give me a job.
Man, Todd wouldn't give nobody a job.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Ask the speaker.
Hey,
Now, hold on.
Don't start now. What's your wife?
Hold on. You gonna
slow down. Hold on now. Take it easy now.
You started, my brother.
You get below the belt.
Look, he like, now she ain't gonna be working today.
Man,
Todd?
Hey, Ken, you notice I was quiet.
Man, I'm used to being quiet.
Look, y'all. Well, first of all,
so stay quiet.
All right.
I'm just saying, though, that this hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for any of us. It didn't work for anybody. Todd was loyal. Ken was not. And let me not say he wasn't loyal, because we was loyal to the organization. Real talk. I can't even go down that path, because that's a whole nother set of circumstances. But I want y'all to understand that while we are chasing statues and there are living monuments to the racism, living active racism in Chicago right now. I'm gonna tell you, Christopher Columbus statue ain't did nothing to your economic betterment. And it's like, while we saying, Ted, could you imagine if y'all took them ropes to Pulaski? I mean, could you? Because here's my thing. Like right now, Mike Madigan got to be thinking about his legacy. And could you imagine if right now his grandparents, his grandkids knew he was a racist?
A crook is more so.
But a racist crook, because he didn't. Look, Ty, like, I got to get out of this. Look, y'all. Look, I got to do this. Ken, we're going to have you come back, and what I'm going to actually have you do is I'm going to probably, as some of these things come on, we're going to have you call in and kind of give us commentary, kind of help us understand what we're seeing, what's going on. I think that what we are seeing right now is the dismantling. I was talking about the United States and the dismantling of the Roman Empire, but I also think we're looking at the dismantling of the Gaelic Empire in Illinois. I think that we as black people need to speed the process up. So for all of y'all that are listening, that's letting these white people take y'all downtown, why don't you take them to Pulaski right? Take them over there to the back door, you know, where everybody got to walk up the fire escape, right? Where everybody got to go bow down and kiss the ring and pledge our birthright to a white Irishman who don't care nothing about us.
Don't give a damn
all right?
about us.
And
unless
I'm
you can
asking
sing, unless you can carry a football, sing, or dance.
But that's usually
and
how
profile.
It works. That's usually how it works for black folks. Ruthie, you've been pretty quiet.
I've been waiting on this day for so long because Maze calls it the Ken Duncan era. And so I've been so curious to meet you and to hear your perspective.
Thank you.
And I think y'all have so much in common, and I'm so happy that y'all are able to sit down and really just talk through it.
I'm gonna tell you, I was doing my notes, and I despise the fact that in our pursuit of economic liberty for black people, economic participation for black people, that it devolves into beef between the brothers as compared to the white boys who caused the beef. Right? Like, here's the lick. If what we didn't want nothing but what was right for black folks. Nothing. Never asked me for $1. He might have asked me for a campaign contribution, but rightfully so, right?
I kept feeding you, Maze.
No, hold on. No, you didn't keep feeding me, but let's back up.
I said that facetiously.
But here's the attempt was there, and it's like we saw the blueprint, right? And after being a lobbyist and then understanding his role and what he was trying to do, I was like, man, as the executive director of the Black Caucus, and you got the Black Caucus, if you can get them brothers, look, y'all, we could take over the world. Because I watched as the guys I worked for used half of the people to get 300 times what we got. I was there when the schools got the 100 millions went to the schools, and I saw all of those things. No, I wasn't there to help them. It was like I was a casual observer. Wasn't nobody trying to invite me to. But when I realized that there was a way to play the game and we weren't playing it, that's when we became public enemy. And I think that one of the things we got to look at is one of the things we have to look at, real talk, is our beefs amongst black folks usually revolve around money. You know, the white folks they might not like each other, but they don't go to war with each other because they got money and they go back. They like, I'm going to my house in Naples, right? I'm going to golf in Arizona at one of my 6 golf courses, right? So when black folks are talking about we all benefited from it, no, we didn't. We got the crumbs. And now it should be evident. If you still looking for a job, that's your answer. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Former 5th District State Representative Ken Duncan in the building. This was your old district, man.
It was.
You know what's funny is your replacement, her office was over here, but she really didn't keep her name on the wall because she went on the. You know, I seen her jogging the other day down the street during the midst of the corona crisis.
It looks like she's going to be the next governor.
Nah. I don't think so. Not if the chief of staff.
Default.
Not at the chief. Because you think the governor trying to run for president.
No, it's a whole nother scenario.
Oh, you talking about all day? Woo! Let me tell y'all.
Breaking news.
The federal issue. I'm telling y'all now, it's more going down. Could you imagine the first black woman governor? And then be all your fault. Hey y'all.
Damn.
Maybe she'll give you an appointment. Tell you on DHS. Hey y'all, it's been good talking to you, Ken. Look, we look forward to having you back, man.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Hey y'all, but it is going down.
We need to get into the nuances next time. We haven't even scratched the surface.
Nah, we need to do a podcast.
Bro, we have not. Trust me, you don't know. I need to inform you and your family here, our family, of the nuances in caucus we used to have, in the fights Madigan and I used to get into.
Oh, I'm gonna
you ain't heard the tip, man. You just looking at the sexiness of the fruit. You need to taste the juice.
Look,
it's a lot of.
He looks tired. He sound like you talking to you.
And Todd is juicy. Boy, look here.
Todd like, I don't want no pods. No pods. All right, y'all.
He got juicy.
Look, y'all, it is 7:40. We done blew past 3 breaks in talking to former State Representative Ken Duncan live at What's In It for the Black People Radio. Look, y'all, You know you ain't gonna get no real truth nowhere else but right here on the morning show. You know they disguising it. They trying to mask it. They trying to get you to look the other way. If you want to know what's in it for the black people, tune in to us every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., 1570 a.m. Ken, it was good having you here, man.
Thanks so much.
All right, Blue Fi.
Blue Fi,
go mob. Go mob. All right, Sonya, we'll be back.
That was cool. Like, what was it, 5 minutes?
Nah, dog, it was 40.
Can I take a picture of y'all?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? I ain't mad at Maze. I understand. I'm glad he, it's clear. It's gonna be love.
It's always.
It's gonna be a bounce back and a love back. Believe it.
Black people, we get one more. All right, can I stage you sitting right there? Like
all right, no problem.
Look at Ruthie taking care of
Ruthie.
This is a historic moment.
Listen, I'm here because of Ruthie. She said, your shade.
Ty, get in. Ty, like, I get no pictures.
She said, that's
no photo.
Who's your girl? My girl.
Look.
My girl.
Look. The Democratic misfits.
He called it
the
Democratic kickouts.
Yep.
Hold on, right?
You need to get in the picture.
Come on, fix your makeup, Ty.
I want to put you on my Facebook.
Look, he like, I don't want to
get some clout. Trying to get some clout.
Oh my goodness, right?
That's the only thing I do is Facebook, so.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to make some other history, too.
I'll title it something.
It's going to be tied to what's really important for black folk. Believe you me. It's time for us to start eating. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't even want to talk. Look at. I need to do a scene, an episode with you all regarding Trump and what he's done for black folk. Blow your mind. Blow your mind.
I don't debate
I can prove
that.
it legislatively. I can prove it.
I don't debate it. I'm not debating.
Starting with historically black colleges, Barack Obama cut historically black colleges. This man gave us an extra $100 million and he made it permanent. I can go down the list legislatively what he did. Crack your face. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, give me some money out of the feds. That's all.
New era.
Then I'll believe it.
Thank you, Miss Paige. Paige, right? More.
You was close.
All right.
Where you get Paige from?
He just gonna give me a name.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Paige.
He must got an auntie name.
Thank you, darling. Ruthie, you got the camera.
All right. So, some feedback. We got Speak Ken. Come on back, Ken. This is good stuff. It's a really good feedback. I think one of the things that I see a lot in the comments is about economics and black economics and how we divided on black economics.
Okay, but why Brian Hudson say Ken look like Blind Mellow Jelly? I want my daddy's records.
Oh man, do we want to readjust this mic?
Oh, you look at you.
I mean, I'm just trying to be on
No, Sonya. Ruthie. I'm doing like my mama. Call you every name in the book but your own. That's beautiful. That's the bar.
You back, Sonya? Alright, let's see what we got. Beulah said, Maze, that was real grown man of you. Much respect. Got a whole lot of Blue Fi comments. Kimberly said, I so enjoyed this. Shanisha said, bring him back.
Tennille said, kick his ass.
I wish you would have got to finish that story because it was sounding like it was about to be good.
Which story?
You said, you know something, you said, me and Tennille had to move out of this particular address because it was falling through the cracks, and you said the first time I almost became a government millionaire. You did not finish the story.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna have to.
Yeah, what happened was, we got the contract before. I mean, like we were literally walking out the office, like we were like she had called. Hold on.
I'm gonna get the story for everybody because I really want to know. I'm not gonna let him forget because Maze is gonna forget, and I hope Todd don't come back in before Maze gets to finish this story.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So what happened was, we were literally about to pack up our office, and leave, and like we were looking for like you know, like the temporary, like a Regis office where you could, and we got a phone call that told us that we had won we had submitted an RFP like months ago and forgot about it, and we got a phone call that said, congratulations, y'all just won this contract, and it was $4 million. And we was like, damn! And we went from like shutting down to being like, and at first it was like super dope, and then we realized then the Madigan people came, and then that's like when everybody started sending us ghost payrollers. It was like when we was like, and we had been making money doing like Rockefeller, Coke, Sprite, McDonald's, and then we had like a bad summer. I want to say like somebody crashed the car. I can't remember what exactly happened, but it was like we were about to wrap it up. And the phone rings and it's IDOT, and they're like, congratulations, you just won this RFP and it's $4 million. And we was like, well, I guess we ain't closing. And we started our business, and we hired, like at one point, like over there you'll see like I got payrolls, like we had over like 200 people working for us at one point during it. But it was like, it also put us, it was like, that's when we learned about the Madigan people. Shit, and Emo had people too, and they all started telling us what we had to give up on the contract if we wanted to keep it. It was like we were trying to play the game, you know, and I'm like, I'm trying to play the game and you know, be a player, and realize Tennille's telling the story. Wait! We were at 222. No, I thought we were at 222.
Guess we gotta have Tennille on the show.
No, I thought we were after. Okay. No, I think right now Ken is useful. Right? Like, I don't ever forget. But I think right now he's the validation of all of, so like, give me a second. He's like the validation to all of the stuff that everybody said I was crazy about. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if that Ken Duncan situation would have happened. I don't know if I would be here. Right? Like, it's like a weird situation, because it was like, that was what put me on TV every dang on day, because I had some fiery ass quote to say.
Okay.
Now I got an ass kicking for months afterwards.
This might be a hard question, but is there something you would do differently now that you have the knowledge?
Yeah, I think I would have took my money off the top like I always do. I never win on campaigns because I always look out for everybody, and I try to make sure all the bills are settled.
Okay.
Ken was an asshole in the whole process. Don't get it twisted. It's like, and move over sometime if you don't mind, back over to your space. Like, don't get it twisted. And it's like, I think right now though, like, my enemy's enemy is my friend. And it's like, what's gotta be killing the people who are all trying to wreck me? Like, I think about the white girl who who tried to attack me at a bar on some craziness about some You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, George Stroger. Plus, gotta say what's up to Ruthie Moore and Miss Sonia Escobar. Ruthie, you are kind of quiet over there. You didn't say much during that talk.
You know, I have been so curious to hear Ken Duncan's perspective that I thoroughly just soaked it all in. I enjoyed it, and it was so powerful to see y'all say, you know what, black economics, we got to put our differences aside.
I just feel like right now, I feel like we're fighting statues when the living monument, the living, breathing testimonies of the white racism that we're living through is right now. I think if what we wanted to happen for black people would have worked out, we probably wouldn't have had no beef.
Ever since I first met you, Major, I used to always hear you say the Ken Duncan era. And so you always put bits and pieces of that together. And so I think today was a culminating moment, not only for What's in It for the Black People Radio, but also for you, Maze. And so I'm just so excited and so happy to see you be able to say, you know what? We gonna sit down with anybody if it's in the interest of black people. So that's so powerful, Maze.
I appreciate that, Ruth and Mo. I appreciate that.
Hey, you're right. Maze. That whole cinema thing was really big, and I don't think people are going to remember Ken for that. But that was pretty big. I remember we did something at the county that was just piggybacking on that. And as you well know, the city, of course.
Cheated.
Yeah,
exactly. The city is like, y'all think y'all having some fun over here?
Yeah.
We gonna show y'all. So yeah, so here's my thing, right? Right now, I want y'all to stop going to Ruthie, I want you to have less passion for the statue and more passion for the person that's actively hurting you right now.
You know, it's not that I have passion for the statues, but it seems to me that
she likes Italian.
Y'all were miseducated about Columbus. Decades later, I was miseducated about Columbus. And so I think that there's a larger system of miseducation that's being sort of dismantled. And so I hear you when you say, like, no, we about to go take this to Pulaski. But I think also, I don't think the fight is not at the statue. I think it's in both places.
You know what, Ruthie? Sometimes I want to be like, you're not as easy as Todd to be. It's like Todd just, you'd be like, no, I'm just kidding. I think that's a good idea. I just feel like, who voted on that? Like, who decided that was the it? Like, when did Native American indigenous people's concerns become why black people are not defending black women? Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna tell you,
injustice anywhere is
injustice
everywhere.
Okay, I hear you. No, I was like, no, but except for when it's black people. Like, again, not tripping. Support who you want to support. But if you gonna get mad at me for not defending, then what I need for you to do is to be in a black fight, not the other fight. I'll be out there. I don't know. We got phone calls. I'm gonna go ahead. Ruthie, you looking at you like, you crazy, man. All right, 872-259-7474. Who do we have on the live line, Sonia Escobar? Andre Smith. What's up, Dre?
Man, I'm proud of you, man. It was good to hear Ken and you back, in the same place having a conversation. I mean, that's what we need. I remember that run clear as day, like it was yesterday, because I happened to be on 47th Street. Petitions. And we're taught anytime you see somebody doing petitions to step back, to observe, and see who they're doing them for, and see if there's any, illegal activity. So I seen a young man signing people's name, and
I got that video.
Look, I just knew that he was not going to be the person that signed as the circulator. So I videoed it. I talked to him. I asked him his name. I asked him where he lived at. I videoed the petition. I videoed that he was getting the petition from this young lady, and I said, "You are the circulator, right?" He said, "Yes." All of this is legal until they turned those petitions in. His name was nowhere to be found. It was 100% illegal. It was fraud.
Hey, Drake.
I gave that
Drake, hey, let me tell you what. I got the video. I got the video of you doing the video. Let me tell you. Remember when I told y'all about when Ken had put together all that money and did had the investigation, and Mike Casper, the guy, the fixer for the speaker, walked in and the judge just threw away everything? Right. I mean, they had video evidence, they had witnesses, they had sworn affidavits, and in Illinois, they just literally said Mike Casper walked into the place, gave the judge a sign, and the judge dismissed the case. What chance does a person have in a state like this when the democracy is controlled by the speaker? Like, again, Dre, I got that video, so I know what you're talking about. We got more callers? Let's see who else we got on the live line. Who else we got? Byron, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Maze, good morning to you and Toddy. Maze.
You forgot Ruthie, Byron.
Ruthie, that's right. Ruthie is there too.
And Sonya.
Literally. But anyway, the reason you have your show is because of money. If you didn't have money, you could not have done what you did. I'm just telling you straight up. Okay? I don't care about this. The statues are just the little glitter. They got people running for statues. We don't care about statues. We care about money. Because money, we can do the things we need to do. Get off the slave plantation. I keep saying the same thing. Chase the money. This is America. It's not about feeling good or my feelings. It's about the money. And Maze, you know that. Why don't you tell those people who call up here to focus on the money?
I'm going to tell you, we do need some economic freedom, and I think that's what I think the issue with Ken Duncan was. The issue with Ken Duncan was he had access to economic freedom. And what white folks knew was that there was going to be black people that was going to say, man, I'm smarter than Ken Duncan. And if Ken Duncan could do it, I could do it. No, really. And so it was important to beat him down, and I think it's important for y'all to understand how far they will go. Right? Like, this is all still very real to me because I lived it. I brought it here for you all to hear it and to experience it. There's so many tactics legislatively that were done. Let's go to the live lines. I'm going to take your calls. Marianne, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Yes, Maze. I just want to comment about what you said, is that the hill we want to die on, the issue down there in Grant Park with the statue.
Okay.
I would just like to say that I would sympathize with the Indian situation, but like you say, we have so many more issues, and I don't ever really remember them being out there in the past with us in any significant numbers about our issues. And I would just like to mention, a lot of people don't know that the Indians themselves had slaves back, during the time of the Civil War and for decades before that. And when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, they refused to honor it for about another year until the U.S. government negotiated in a treaty that they released the slaves that they were held on their reservations and whatnot. And then they later disinvested the people who had inherited certain things. Naturally there were some blacks who were descendants of some with the Indians, had mixed blood.
Okay, thank you.
So we have so many more issues, and the young lady, I respect her being an activist and being involved in things, but there are so many more things that she could be addressing. And some of these people have other motives. I also read that after her tooth was knocked out, somebody set up a GoFundMe page, and $75,000
is 90
over the weekend for her.
It's 90 now. She said she was rich.
Okay.
She needs a public.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She may decide not to go to college if she was going to go. I think she just finished high school. So, to an 18-year-old, that seems like all the money in the world. And I'm not saying she's motivated by money, but with all of the issues that we have, she ought to be concerned about trying to get this man out of office, because this Supreme Court will be in place till she's 50 or 60 years old that he's setting up, and these federal judges.
Thank you, Mary.
As young as some of them are.
Thank you, Marianne, and thank you for making the switch. Let me tell y'all, I want to come back, because when we come back, I want to talk about, did you see Mayor Lori Lightfoot wrote a letter to the president? Like, now she want to write a letter? Too little, too late? Because she wasn't able to stop the federal agents from coming here. And I think now...
This is going to be trouble.
And I think I tried to tell y'all while you was busy MFing the president, it's like you got what you asked for.
No, he's still a jerk.
I got you, but guess how it works out for us, right? So the president is a jerk. She gets to call him a jerk, and then she gets to retire to her mansion with her 75 federally licensed police officers to protect her, while we got the Ku Klux Klan riding around snatching people in vans. And guess what? Now she's saying, I have suggestions. Look, y'all.
Come on, Maze. You've been toting the Trump bandwagon so much, and now that now it's the Ku Klux, whatever you should say.
I said the Ku Klux man,
right,
but this is what I'm suggesting is, all I'm telling you is you getting what you asked for. Last time when you poke the bear, don't get mad when he bite. Look, y'all, and it ain't gonna turn out well, and it's not gonna turn out well for the black people that's standing at the statue while the white kids in shorts go home. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
All their teeth.
Right. All their
AM
teeth.
1570.
Right. You see the white people
WBGS
getting
Harvey,
walked off.
Chicago.
Now, I'm
the
just gonna
Maze
say
Jackson
this.
Show. We'll be back after this
Did
break.
you see her, how she was talking?
You think it's
the mayor?
Too little, too late?
No, I'm talking about not the mayor. I'm talking about when I was watching The Miracle Girl.
Oh! No, I said she needed a publicist. You just
I said she needs a PR person or something. Somebody needs to, because quite frankly, that video that I saw yesterday is like, if I was Fox News, I would have cut that and put it all over the TV.
You mean the one where she was talking?
Yeah, when she was like, this mother, and 90, and get the fuck, like the video was like, motherfucker, I got a camera. What you gonna do? Like, that camera's not a shield.
Oh, you're talking about when she got punched.
That, and then the video of her showing her getting punched and then being proud that she raised $90,000. Like, you just made me rich. Motherfucker, you just made me rich. And I'm saying to myself,
do you have any children?
I don't know.
If she doesn't, she is rich. When you don't have children and you got 90, you're rich.
So, again, I don't think you're converting people.
Is it the brand of activism?
I think.
Or is it the activism in general? Do you think the fight is misplaced?
I think the fight is misplaced and it's being directed by somebody else. Like, I think what Paul said is correct. Like, I think that all of the BYPs, the black, all those groups
Good Kid, Mad City
are funded. They are created and they are funded and they are youth activists. And they started out and somebody said we can. You remember how I told you we need to have guided missiles instead of Scud missiles? They are guided missiles that are sent to go in and attack. Like, again, if CTU saw her out there, who were the people at CTU that were responsible for protecting them?
You talking about Chicago teachers in CTU?
Who funded? Like, who? What's their? So I'm telling, and I'm not gonna just say CTU. What I'm saying is most of these young people groups. With the T-shirts and they show up and they're active at protesting and they've become branded. They are funded.
They are.
From what you just said, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be an argument that she was verbally abusive.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it, I was like, let me just say this: if I was a cop out there, I'm not justified. If I was a cop out there, if I've seen that kid in my neighborhood.
Well, hold on, but Maze.
I've seen that kid though. The motherfucker, you ain't gonna do shit. Get the fuck out of my face, motherfucker. Get the fuck your old ass in the house. Blah 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 blah. Right? I'm telling you now. 80% of the people in my age bracket would have been like, she had that coming.
But Maze, these the same kids that got Kim Fox elected.
No, they
Kids
did.
don't
No,
vote.
they did not
These are
get.
the same
They did.
kids that
No.
they had to
See,
buy Anita.
That's the problem with you
Those-
millennial types. You make a lot of noise and you think that
Those
we did
kids-
something. No,
Those
things happen.
kids with those
In the
signs,
box.
them buy Anita hashtags.
Oh, speaking of which,
Hold on. Let her finish the
that
point.
reminds me though. We saw Hans and I saw some people putting up some anti-Kim Fox stuff again.
You talking about the ones that be on like the? I know what you're talking about.
So,
All I'm saying is obviously there is a need. These kids want an outlet, and so whose responsibility is it to then corral these young people up? Like you said, they turn them into guided missiles. So why can't we go wrap our arms around these kids?
I don't know if they are wrappable at this point. I think they have been not militarized, but they have been programmed. Like, I feel like some of the kids that I watch, I feel like are organic protesting, and then there are professional paid protesters that are paid to be at all of those places. Yeah. Now,
and I think the young ones want to be around young ones. They don't want to be around you and me.
Yeah, I think.
Personally, I don't want to be.
First of all, I think that those same kids were part of what got Kim Fox to be elected. I don't think that young people overwhelmingly put Kim Fox in spot. I think the murder of Laquan McDonald and the subsequent protests in general, and I think from those protests celebrities were made, and those celebrities then marketed themselves. Protest celebrities were then made, and they then found a new profit center. I think that when you look at places like University of Chicago, where they experiment with these kids and they say just what you're saying, like those kids to me are the little birdies in Game of Thrones. The kids that are detached from, they don't have families, they don't have a lot of stuff, and so
you did mention them before. I remember. Okay,
a wealthy person can give them treats and money and resources.
That's why we gotta get them.
I'm not debating that, but they can't. I'm not debating that. Boom, boom, boom. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Ooh, treat me so bad. I don't know why, baby. You are. You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio Live, WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, plus Miss Ruthie Moore and Sonia Escobar on the wheels of steel. Hey, y'all, we just finished up that conversation. We got any calls left? We done with the calls? If we are done with the calls, let's go on to the next subject. Did you see, so I told y'all yesterday that President Trump was planning on sending not troops, but federal agents to Chicago. Now, what we have found out is that...
What is a federal agent? I mean, I know they're Homeland Security, but what do they do?
Well, I think we're going to find out. I think we're going to find out.
I will not. I will be at home.
Exactly. I think that's really my point. But I'm going to go here. The president has committed to sending 150 troops, not troops, but agents here. HSI, Homeland Security Agency specialists.
Could this mean that the I don't know if this is part of the Patriot Act or what, but that Homeland Security has gone too far?
No, I think Homeland Security is within its rights.
No, I mean in the sense, I shouldn't say Homeland Security, the president and his ability to send things in his own nation. Because if you look at the Federalist Papers and all that kind of stuff, there was a definite push to make sure that the president could not take over the country.
Well, here's what I think. I think regardless of what the rules are, it's happening. Right? It's happening. Like, I think this is part of the thing I've been trying to say since day one, while everybody has been like, why talk to that idiot? Why blah, blah, blah? And call me crazy.
Crazy.
Thank you. But I think that now the mayor is in reactionary mode. Right? Because she wrote a bunch of checks that she could not cash. She lied, telling the people who are civically unaware what can't happen. I will stop him. I will demand that there will be no federal troops. There will be no federal people here. I am right.
I think that I would guess that she didn't lie, as she's not well versed on
the Constitution. So here's my thing. This is the thing I've been saying since the beginning. I didn't even know
there was like HH troops like this.
Exactly, but it's like when you talking smack and you don't know what the consequences are. She's betting our future. This is what I'm gonna take it back a little bit. I have since day one suggested that we should not leave the communication with the federal government, with the President of the United States, up to the Fraternal Order of Police. Whether you like him, you dislike him, or not.
Hold on, let me finish. When's the last time you liked the FOP president?
I haven't.
That's what I figured. It's
So
hard for us to like those guys.
But the point being, but can I tell you what? If I could get John Contazaro on the phone or in studio, I'd have him here. And guess what?
That's because you want to do your job.
No, right. And I would talk to him. And if things were happening bad or good in the city of Chicago, I want to be able to talk to everybody, right? Everybody that's going to have input into what the outcome is, because at some point when you get through name calling, there may be some logic somewhere in the mindset. Now, you never will get anywhere with me if you call me an idiot. Ever. Never. You will never win an argument with arguing, screaming, or name calling.
I never want to be in the same room with him.
I got you. And so here's my point.
And I don't think I'm going to be the mayor.
And so
I'm almost sure about that.
And I think that that's great, because you're not the mayor.
Right.
You didn't get elected to do it. You didn't get elected to be the mayor of all Chicago, including the head of the FOP. So now, what we've done is we've abdicated our responsibility politically to the city of Chicago for politics, right? And said, I'm not going to talk to the mayor of the president. He is Donald Trump, and you have vilified him. You have said, and you done called up the pastor and told him that he can't have no President Trump rally or whatever. You've decided that you're going to declare that the city is off limits to the president of the United States. I don't know what world that works in. Now, we as citizens, us citizens, particularly black citizens, who are down at the Columbus statue.
You're talking about these people are going to be walking in Bucktown and Andersonville.
No, of course not. Exactly. But that's where all the people leading the protest down to the Columbus statue that y'all showing across the world, projectiles and the police under assault and Black Lives Matter. And again, I'm all good. We all good. But now we're going to complain when the things that we said could potentially happen.
You know what the problem with that Black Lives Matter thing is?
It's white people.
Is people get allies and they don't really know who their allies are. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna come with me? Come on!" And then they shoot something out the car and you're like, "Hey, man,
I wasn't trying to kill nobody, but now you're an accomplice."
So have we ever seen federal troops here in Chicago?
Yes.
And what was
in the 60s?
Happened? Okay.
We saw them I haven't seen them, but they came in the 60s. And it's funny.
You mean like?
I'm not talking about this. No, federal troops is the National Guard. Okay. I'm talking about. And let's be clear, we used to cheer for the National Guard and the federal troops when it was Arkansas, and we was trying to get people in. So let's not act like this hasn't happened to our benefit, right?
Yeah, but it was a different type of thing.
I got you. To the white people, they like, get in there and fix it out.
I think, because the only thing they can do is they can make sure that everybody stays off the streets.
Okay, so here's so
I mean, it's not like they're gonna bust down doors and say you're a shooter. We know we're taking you in. That's not gonna happen.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. The mayor, I'm gonna go back to Rod Blagojevich. Rod Blagojevich told the federal government, bring it on. Guess what? They brought it.
Well, you never say that,
right?
They
Jesse
got
Jr.
unlimited resources.
Jesse Jr. called out the federal government, said you got nothing. Guess what? Then he was on the front page with a white woman in Rolexes. Right? We saw Mike Madigan just this week call out the president, say, you know what? Y'all want to ask me about corruption? Call your president, your attorney general. Guess what? He got it.
Bro, no, yes, and he hasn't been indicted.
See again. We gonna navigate it. That's the Chicago Euro step. Right?
You can't go to jail until they indict you.
I got you. Standards. I'm just saying.
And since you keep on down in the Euro step, I think that's a pretty good move, actually.
Okay. Well, the Chicago Euro step is always how black folks wind up getting screwed. So if you think that's all I'm saying. Now we have the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, who has made her business to go on every national show and call out the president, tell him what he ain't gonna do, what he can't do, make it not for the benefit of the citizens, but because it hits her poll numbers. Now,
see, I don't watch TV, so
I do, and she's on every channel.
Unless it's Netflix right now.
She's on every channel. She's on MSNBC, CNN, talking national. Even as regular Chicagoans watch the city burn, right? I'm just saying, and if you look at the national video of them people at the police officers under assault at the take out your Chicago-ness and you're mad at the police and think about the real world.
Yesterday I asked y'all separately,
yes,
without y'all hearing the conversation, if y'all thought there was unrest in the city. Ty said no. You said yes.
Hell yes, unrest in the city.
So do you think that there's unrest now, Todd, or do you still say there's...
You mean like when you say it, you mean like there's something different than usual?
Unrest. Civil unrest.
Well, there is some civil unrest, we know. And I think the technology has made it much easier for it. And that's why we have so many things that happen right now.
Okay, so they showed up.
But you know what though, Mace? If we are truly in a powder keg right now. People are probably smelling the blood in the water with Trump sending them in, because now that means, you know what?
But this is a national thing, though.
But I'm saying people are watching and waiting and looking for an opportunity and a moment. Y'all complaining about people, we doing the statues, but just wait until the feds come in. People are going to...
Yeah, but what are they going to do, though?
Oh, they're going to have their umbrellas and
yes,
their bottles of water.
I'm telling you like this. So here's what I'm telling you.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
But then that's what's...
I think that there's this whole, in my opinion, I think on both sides of the spectrum, the left and the right, this is my theory, and I don't mind always saying it. Okay. There are anti-government people, and they're waiting for something like this. They're like, hey, here's our chance to run out in the streets and break stuff up and try to destroy the government.
So I think this. I think Ruthie...
Ruthie on our side.
So here's what I think. I think Ruthie is... Todd, I think we come from a different generation.
Well, I know.
What I think...
You're about 102 years old right now.
I think when I was reading the comments, there was a lot of let them try it.
Which side?
On the left side.
Oh.
Saying, we ain't Portland. No. Right? Like, here's what I don't think. I don't think that the average black people that's talking about we ain't Portland. Now, I think the people you talking about with the umbrellas and the sticks, they prepared. I think the miracles.
They came to town prepared.
Right, but I don't think our people per se are prepared.
We're not ready for a fight like that.
Let me tell you, I was on a call with I was on one of those calls, and it was the first time where I was on a call and I was like, these kids are preparing for something way bigger than I think. Like, they ain't just trying to march.
Right.
And what I am concerned about is the rest of the people who are not prepared. I think them white kids that came down with the black umbrellas, with the bottles, with the sharp and stuff, they've been training, they've been practicing, they ready. They got action. And when these federal people come, they're going to be kicking it off. Here's what I don't think the thing, though, is. And I'm concerned about the Black Lives Matter banner being used, is that when it's time for executing, like going to snatch, they're going to be snatching black people.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to be pulling
if
black.
If there's going to be any real fights, it'll probably be in the south and west sides.
No, I feel like it's the side. I feel like the fights will be downtown at those statues and places like that. I think the people.
You don't think the federal troops are going to be hanging around the Columbus statue?
I think that are you watching what's happening in Portland?
Yeah, but is it the whole thing from the president that he's going to quell violence? So isn't that mean he's going to go into the neighborhood?
There's two different types of violence, Todd. I think what they're so I think that they're mixing up everything. I think they're saying that you got murders and shootings running amok in Chicago and the police are under assault. Like, this seems like Escape from New York. So you got the police standing around a statue with bombs, with things being thrown, they're hiding, they're ducking, and then you got newsflash, 100 shot this weekend, 75. Yep. And if you look at it, and you
the Running Man probably worked better, but okay.
But if you meld it all together and then you push it out in one giant ball, like I'm telling you, the rest of the world thinks that Chicago is off the chain.
But Maze, you didn't want to use this word earlier, but I will. Law and order. And what them white people deem to be law and order is crumbling right before their eyes.
So I didn't want to use law and order.
I know you didn't.
But I'm going to tell you that the law and order scenario works for voters. So what I'm suggesting is the escalation of this, the more the mayor fight, like, I feel like she walked right into the whole, like he breadcrumbed her ass right into it, right? So now I'm going to fix the city of Chicago. She's saying it ain't happening. No, we don't want your troops. But everything, even CNN, Fox, everybody is showing, again, I look at media and I look at imagery. And I think about all of those cops surrounding a statue in the middle of the heart of the city, and you see them under full assault, right?
So bottles. You're saying the president is Nero.
I'm saying, I don't know if I'm saying he's Nero. What I'm saying is this all plays to a narrative. If you are a white woman in the suburbs right now, and you are seeing things, the police under assault, you think, dang, what if that comes to my neighborhood? We got to have somebody that can put all of this back in order. And I'm saying that silence, you got to pay attention to the silence. Like, you don't see a whole bunch of white people running. You see the white kids who are trying to, they're the hippies. Same thing happened in the 60s. They're going to be the people that they'll walk away from this. Miracle's not going to walk away from this. That's going to follow her. Think about the Panthers and the hippies. And I'm not tripping on Miracle. So please don't make it like I'm. But what I'm suggesting is, and if we're not in control of our fights, right? It's like it's going to happen the same way. That's how cannabis is legal now, because all the hippies became the policymakers.
Yeah.
The black people went to jail. They still trying to get out as political prisoners. They all was in our fight. Martin Luther King went down when he started joining with the white people.
Okay, so I know that we're using Miracle as just symbolism.
Yes.
And so within that symbolism, where do the miracles go to protest? Where do the miracles join the fight for activism? Like, where's their place?
I think that, I think that goes to Todd's Chicago State. So if the bastion of our education for young black militant or black activists, I learned activism in college, right?
Okay.
If the bastion of that is the University of Chicago, which is also a bastion of white economic power, all the things that it symbolizes, it's like we have to own our own space. Like, our children are educated by the enemy all the time. And so even that child is weaponized against us, and she's rewarded. And I'm not saying against us. But again, it's white people pushing that to the forefront. What black people got called out on, or black men got called out on, is, why weren't y'all there to protect her? Well, fam, that's not the fight that black people said we was in. So we had to show up to be, not to protect you for something that we like, man, we trying to get, the neighborhoods are up right now. Like, right now, we got 10-year-old to 17-year-olds have jacked 17 cars in one neighborhood. Now, the fight for us is not at Columbus freaking statue. And if I got somebody with that much good kids, that much love, real talk, we need them working in our neighborhoods. They need to be, their issue is not down, but you can't make $90,000 fighting in your hood. And I don't mean that in a negative way. You can't. The only people who make money fighting in the black neighborhoods are white people. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I offend y'all?
Wow.
Let's go to the live lines. Since I offended somebody. Hey, y'all. This is What's in it for the Black People Radio, WBGX 1570 AM. Who we got on the line? Tanya, you got to turn that down. Tanya, you trying to get our Facebook Live broadcast ended. All right, what's up, Tanya? I know that wasn't you. That's all right. Hello. Hey, Tanya.
How are you? Good morning, Maze, Clive, and Ruthie.
Good morning.
Ruthie, how are y'all doing today?
Great. How are you?
I said Todd and Ruthie.
They said, hey. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, y'all. So, Maze, I totally agree with you about the fight at the statue. But the one thing I thought about when that young girl got her teeth knocked out is if this man is willing to do this, knowing there's cameras in broad daylight, what is he doing in our communities when he's policing? That's the question.
Oh, no.
So what are they getting away with in our communities when we ain't got the camera? And it's not daylight and everybody can see it. If he's willing to do that in front of everybody else, what is he doing in our communities? That's my question.
Hey, Tanya, I'm with you. And I think we need to be in our communities having that fight. I don't think that we really have black people getting their teeth knocked out at the Columbus statue. We do have people getting their teeth knocked out on 71st Street for just existing. And so again, while we're fighting, and we took, like, I just don't know if I don't know if I want to see our sisters getting whooped over the Columbus statue when ain't nobody black talking about the Columbus statue. And if you're going to ask us to be there in solidarity, who are the people on the indigenous people's team that make sure our people are secure? Now, I'm going to also look at the decorum of how people carry themselves. I don't know if disrespect is a tactic, but I'm going to tell you, like, watching the whole thing, I know a lot of older people who said, man, it took them a long time to get there. Let's go to the next call.
Brother Ball, is that you?
Brother Ball, hey, Brother Ball, what's up, y'all?
Hey, what's going on? Top of the morning, Grand Rising. Now listen, y'all already know that this Black Lives Movement thing wasn't created by black people, first and foremost. So this is what I tell everybody young that was in the protest mode. I had to let them know, when you go to a protest, first and foremost, if you haven't planned, organized, and strategized that protest, you are a bunch of sitting ducks. First and foremost, you have to understand where you are. You are in Chicago. You have to understand where you're going. You're black, you're going downtown. I told my daughter one time, when the LGBT thing was going on, she had a friend that was in high school that was gay, and she wanted to support her. I said, you support your friend through phone conversation. You support your friend through visiting her in her home. She can visit you even. I like the little girl. She's cool. But you're not going to a parade. You're not going anywhere where I feel like your safety can be endangered by you not knowing your surroundings. And that's what we do. We're so quick to jump and get on bandwagons and support things. Nothing wrong with it. But do you know where you're going? Do you know who's going to be there? Who's got your back? All these things have to be explained to me before any one of my children leaves the home talking about they're going to a group setting. This is Chicago. I used to go to house parties, and different gangs would come on the block because it's different guys going in the house at a party. So if I come up from that element, and now we're in the riot, rah-rah, sis, boom, bar kind of thing now, Todd, where a girl gets her teeth punched down on TV. It's something seriously wrong with people if they're letting their children go out here and do these kind of protests, knowing we know what's going to happen, Maze. Me and you know what's going on. Right. Everybody in the studio know that this could possibly happen. So just be careful, y'all, because it's an underlay for the what, Maze?
The overplay, Brother Ball. The overplay, dog.
I love y'all, man. I'm gone.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Hey, y'all.
Hey, it reminds me when Gene Moore and I went to, Gene Moore was from Maywood. We were state reps, and there was a group of reps who, I guess they all happened to be white, and mostly from the north. They were having a press conference about someone said, this is pretty interesting. We actually agreed, let's go. We went, but we quickly noticed that it was well orchestrated by them, and that there was no space for us, so we left.
Right. That's how they do. Let's go to the live lines. We got a couple more calls. Let's take them. Who's on the live line?
Madam President.
Is that Madam Presidente?
Yes. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning?
Good. Right.
So I heard that our black men are being called out. Well, where were they? Who are these groups? Are they Black Lives Matter? Who are they? They just like, it's all mixed up, right? But they get on the mic and they say Black Lives Matter. Maybe our black men actually started going on Black Lives Matter's website and started reading their purpose, their mission statement, and their movement. If they straight and heterosexual, they shouldn't come out there. For the simple fact because they don't respect them, they don't even mention them, and they say that heterosexuals pretty much have been having too much privilege, and now it's time for all of that to stop. Okay. Be careful of who do you ostracize. Because black people as a whole been having a problem since day one. We've never been privileged, whether we were heterosexual or not. Let's be clear about that. So don't call our black men out when you pretty much, you're trying to denigrate them. Ain't no trying to. You pretty much, your mission statement says it on your website. When I read that stuff, I was like, wow. But what I did do was make a call. After all of this different language that our kids protesting out there, anybody with your children out there, sit them down and explain to them what they are being pretty much labeled as. I told my daughter, I don't want to see you out there, because the next thing they're going to label us as terrorist groups.
Man.
We don't have time for that. We got too many problems already, and they are misleading our children. I know what they do, and they have a system on how they get our children, and they wrap their hands around their brain. And I think that when I started advocating on stuff to that with against CHA about housing and how our people are being treated, because they thought they had one when I came on the scene. And I just sat back and watched how they get down and let them know, baby, this is live. This is not Memorex. You can't shape my thoughts and you can't put words in my mouth or pretty much tell me how to act. Move around.
That's my president, y'all. That is the president of What's in It for the Black People, Miss Tamiko Holt. Look, let's do this. Let's go to, let's take a quick break. We're going to stretch out. You all listen to the mix. Ruthie, you got to go check on the weather, man, because I think it's hot or something out there. Plus, y'all, I want to let y'all know it's 8:34, so if you got to get to work, you got 26 minutes to do it. We'll be back.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474.
So has the broadcast fixed up?
Give us a call.
Are they still getting blocked? Choppy?
872-259.
It seems like it's been flowing now. I think it had to get its settings right.
We're on the south and west side. Should we
go?
Should we start protesting?
I'm not protesting. I'm just telling you.
Would you let your kids go out?
Yeah, I would let my kids go out. It would just depend on who, what, and I would go with them if they wanted to be involved. But I'm not protesting. Like, I feel like protesting is what I'm trying to go have a target. Look, yo, I don't want to protest you. I want to tell you what we want from you.
All right. Let's see what we got. Marcus said, that statue is so low on the list of importance, it is symbolic. I smell leftist whites.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
I knew you would like that one, Todd. All right, so Adrian said, even if you remove statues, the people and the mindsets they represent are still here. don't lose focus on legislation and economics. All right.
I think a lot of people would say, a multi-pronged attack.
Yes. All right, let's see. Sweetie said, we have several issues to address, true, but we are smart enough to consider two things at once. Don't y'all know that? But I can't multitask. Statues are coming down all over the nation. It takes a very lengthy process to change legislation. Those statues need to come down, and we can all do the work and push for legislation at the same time. What you think about that? Can we do both?
I would just say that. Well, no, I'm sure we can do both and even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But the statue probably will take a while because, as we saw, there's pushback from the Italian Americans.
All right. So, in terms of,
even though there's a statue over by UIC, and they said they've been protecting that one.
I'm even thinking about the one in Bronzeville, right there on 53rd and King.
Oh, 51st? You mean the one?
Yeah, 51st and King.
I think that's George Washington.
I think so. But think about that. That's been there since before the neighborhood was black, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? I think the issue with these statues though is that they built them, I think, as monuments of, can I say terror? Can I say terror?
You can say it if you want.
I think they built. So all right. Let me just take it back to the comments. All right. So in terms of the protesters, Salim said many of them, especially BYP 100, have been indoctrinated into the academic social justice regimen.
What is BYP 100?
That's Black Youth Project 100, one of the youth organizing activism groups.
Man.
So he took it to the indoctrination within the schools.
I remember the first time I went to saw BYP 100, and I was kind of like when you saw their philosophy, and they kind of, it was kind of like,
too communist for you?
Man, bro, I just feel like,
I don't know.
No shade. I just feel like classic example of black kids white indoctrinated. They educated on black stuff, but in a way to dismantle us too. I think systems of white power, quote unquote, but they also are, I don't think black people can do everything that white people do. And I don't think that everything that's suggestive to white people that they think is good always benefits us. The destruction of a family or to close that door does not help us. I don't know if the values that they purport to have help us move forward as a people.
Ah, gotcha.
I think everything has happened in our community and in the world. I think what they seek to do is normalize their abnormality and make everything that happened to us is not wrong, and there's a reason that black people succeeded in spite of.
Okay.
I think the BYPs of the world seek to discredit. I believe that there's a spiritual component to what makes black people. I believe that there's a whole essence of black people. And I think that in some ways it seeks to disconnect us from our spiritual, almost like making us communists, sort of. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
But I think it seeks to detach us from what makes us black people. What has allowed us to survive. And I think that something in our souls or spirits or whatever has kept us. I do believe we're one of the chosen people of God in the world. You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, plus Miss Ruthie Moore and Sonia Escobar, y'all. This is the only place you can go and hear it unwatered down. Nobody's gonna... We don't give you a script. Nobody gives us a script. Tells us what we can talk about, what questions we can ask. I'm just going to tell y'all, I think that we are in for some issues with the mayor and her decisions to go on the offense with the president. I mean, I think those federal agents are here. They are, and I think it's misleading every time the mayor goes on TV or something and says what they can't do or what she's going to block. Like she went on TV, said she's going to block, she's going to use everything in her power to stop the federal government from coming here. Hey sis, just so you know, they got buildings everywhere. You got to get a passport from a federal building. You're right next door. Like the FBI, all of that is the federal government.
Maze, do you think there's a difference from the feds coming in to quell some of the civil unrest and protests versus them coming in to quell the violence that we have, the gun violence?
Yes, but I think that it is a hodgepodge that you can pull it closer, Ty, if you need to. I think that it is. I think there's a narrative being created that the mayor missed. Okay. Right? I think there's a national. I think she was so hyper focused on local and her memes and everybody telling her how great she was that she didn't realize that she was being breadcrumbed into being one of the biggest foils for the president. So here's what I see. What I see is the images of George Floyd and major big cities around the country with Democratic mayors. Now, the mayor is slowly being pushed into the Democratic pile because she wasn't really a Democrat. But that's a whole nother story. I think there is a narrative that is being pushed across the country that law and order is in, and law and order for us has a different connotation than white people. So that's why I was loath to use it. But law and order is being challenged right now. Law and order matters to white women who push strollers through Lincoln Park. Law and order matters to white women in Naperville who we are counting on to deliver Joe Biden. But when you see those images, again, and the mayor seems to think that she can will imagery away, right? She thinks she can say, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm going to stop it, and then it goes away. But it's like, and so, yeah, you can call radio stations and tell them not to say bad things. You can call TV stations. But the national news, the national narrative is of Chicago police officers in the middle of downtown Chicago huddled around a statue of Christopher Columbus that all of us ain't there yet. Like all the white people ain't there yet on Christopher Columbus, right? And they are being pelted, attacked, assault. Now they're showing the coordinated attacks with the umbrellas, with the sharpened sticks, with all of the projectiles. And then you see at the same time, the police are under assault and you see headlines of shootings and murders rampant. And think about that being projected. Okay. Exactly. So now, bingo. So now what you got is this narrative that Chicago is out of control. The mayor is standing on national TV as pictures of bottles flying, the police under assault, murder, and saying, we're going to teach this Trump a lesson. And I'm just telling you that she's being breadcrumbed into being the national foil. Right? And while she's telling people it's not happening, it's like when she said that the South Side didn't get burnt, didn't go down. That she didn't abandon the South and West Side. Did you sleep? You was that sleep?
No, that was just a sinus action. Sorry.
I was like, man. I think that what you have now is a narrative that does, like if I was me, as she's talking and telling us everything is all good, the videos playing behind her are of police, and then you got the chief of police, not the chief, the FOP chief, asking, please, we're under assault, sir, could you please help us?
You've been pretty clairvoyant with this whole situation, Maze. How does this end?
This ends in 3 more years. It's less than 36 months, but it's going to end in 3 more years. See, here's what I think.
See, what Maze doesn't talk about is the FOP chief is has always been, I mean, he doesn't deny it, but has always been the face of white racism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when the FOP Fraternal Order of Police president speaks, it's usually in defense of white officers or black officers, but mostly white officers who've done something to black people and brown people. And they got to get their day in court and all that kind of talk.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. However, I think that right now, when you go to Beverly,
mm-hmm.
and they see all them police officers under assault, when you go to the 47th Ward, when you go to all the places where Lori Lightfoot won and dominated, and they see their people under assault, and her defending the... Yeah, I'm telling you. She's...
In my opinion, she only needs 2 allies. She needs all them white folks from the South Loop all the way up the lakefront, and she needs like 45% of the black folks.
Okay, so I'm just telling you, 45% of the black folks, when people start getting snatched up off the street, when I'm saying when when you got carjacking crews rolling around, mm-hmm. I'm saying that right now, if it was me...
There's some wild stuff going on now. It's crazy.
I'm saying that I feel like right now we are living in like in the midst of anarchy, and we're trying to play like it's not. Like,
yeah, but how do we fix this? I mean,
I'm saying, can I tell you something? I'm not the mayor. You're not the mayor.
No.
I don't get on TV and wag my fingers and tell it's not my job. My job is to make sure that my children and the people in my circle are not contributing to the problems. That's what I'm doing. Now, what I'm telling you is...
my question should be...
Go ahead.
Where do you think all this kind of craziness that just seems to have popped up in the last couple of years, where do you think it emanates from?
I think
it seems like to be more organized craziness.
I think that a couple things. First of all, I think that this has been building, particularly in Chicago. I think that the unrest regarding the police shootings, the murders. I mean, we spend almost $500 million on police killings we spent it over 10. I mean, it's like, so you're reaching a tipping point. Plus, you add the fact that the United States is rapidly going towards a tipping point. Talk about the Trumpization of our country and our city, where I think that Trump has dragged everybody down to lowest common denominator. Mm-hmm. So whether you like the mayor or not, what you're liking is her lack of civility. Right? Like
I agree. I think that's what it seems like. The people are cheering her on.
Right. It's like a lack of civility has become the standard of success, and so you get more applause for wagging your finger at the Trump, because the white people ain't got all those killings and stuff in their neighborhood.
I see why you would say that it's a lack of civility, because that has been the standard, the way that we communicate with each other politically. But I feel like black people, why should we be civil? Nobody's civil to us.
I'm suggesting that she ain't been civil to us. She's not being civil to us.
No, I'm talking about the larger idea of a lack of civility within politics.
I think that I don't think that it's a lack of civility. It's a lack of direction. Like, you can be civil and be forceful and dynamic and achieve things.
See, I don't think we can.
I can see you saying that, but I'm suggesting right now, I'm not talking about us individually. I'm talking about the mayor. And how does her lack of civility play out for, not Mays, because guess what? I'm going in at 8. I ain't even tripping. I'm too old for this. I'm too old to be out here having a fight while the mayor and the president are in a peeing contest. And it's like, the people who are going to get hurt the most are black people.
I agree.
And I don't think the mayor's lack of civility is in defense of black people. She ain't lack of civility with Trump because of her offense of how black people. She's offensive to black people. I think she thinks she gets points with her white supporters by taking a whack at President Trump. And we are on the bandwagon, but we will bear the brunt of it. Because again, I'm just telling you, them agents, they not going to be rolling around Lincoln Park. They're going to be rolling around because they can mix the metaphors of the killings with the Antifas, and whoever said that those kids going to be labeled as a terrorist organization. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I think that the mayor and our political leaders have a civic duty to the citizens, to do what's best for the citizens. Now, I'm not suggesting that you got to get along with everything that Trump says or go along with it. But the lack of civility has got you right now with unmarked, unrolled, Homeland Security people rolling through our neighborhoods, and she talked all that smack, and she can't bring them back. She can't stop it. She can't stop it. And it's like, we all cheered. Like, you tell her, Madam Mayor. Nobody looked at the civics books. Nobody even knows what Homeland Security could do. All right. And they just declared terrorist organizations. And I just want to point to y'all. Do y'all know what the name of the operation that they're calling this?
What is it?
This is
Operation Brown Shirt?
Operation Legend. And do you know why it's
Legend?
named Operation Legend?
John Legend?
No. Because a 7-year-old black heart surgery patient in Kansas City was killed by random gunfire. And so this surge in Homeland Security is based around the young black child that was killed in Kansas City, and they're deploying it. I'm just telling you, they being slick.
There's going to be some changes in Congress. I think that's what Trump is going to force.
I'm going to tell you what.
I don't think the Congress would want, and I could be wrong, but I don't think they want the president running around sending troops into cities, and I don't even think the rural people want that.
I think don't nobody want it, but it's happening. And again, until we talk, because y'all can't talk about it. Who's the black people talking about it? Who's the black people working on the strategy? Who's the black people in communication with the president? So while y'all telling me what can't happen, again, it keeps happening because we cheer on our inability to talk as compared to our ability to talk. Hey, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Ruthie, you've been quiet. When we come back, I'm about to give you the mic. You've been looking intense. She like, don't blow up the radio station. She like, yeah, I got you in your civility, Mr. Mays. We'll be back after this mix.
Yeah, Ruthie, you got to talk more, because if I keep talking, I'm going to say something crazy.
We just living in such a different time. I mean,
are you prepared for revolution?
Yeah, I feel like, Maze, we can't get no worse.
I got to
than
get to
where
Costco before we have revolution.
Honestly, I do think revolutions, they not peaceful. They bloody, and sometimes you gotta burn everything down to rebuild it. And I know that that's not a popular strategy, because y'all gonna say they're not gonna rebuild our communities at the same rate.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna say, tell me where that worked, where that happened and it worked.
Where you have to,
where they burned it down and it came back.
One of the most recent examples that I have of a system being truly dismantled and upheaval is Trump becoming the president. That has really made it possible now for people to see the United States in a different light.
So what you're trying to say is this is the first time that a rich white man became president?
No, what I'm saying is this is the first time that the president has been able to tweet his way into office. And we are living in a different time.
I think it's a limited perspective to say that a president was able to tweet his way into office. I think
it's bigger than that.
I think it's definitely bigger than that. I think there had to be an existing apparatus. I do think that the country. I think the country is at its probably lowest point, and this is the time.
You don't think we can get no worse?
At one time,
I'm saying it can always get worse.
Didn't travel the nation by train and speak off the back.
Can you say that again? What you just said?
So I want to say, during the Douglas Lincoln was the first time that the presidents traveled through the nation on the back on trains, and then the train would stop and they'd speak off the back and everybody crowd around. Mm-hmm. So there's always like this communication thing change with technology. But
here's what I think. I think there are eras, right? So there's the radio, the TV, the whistle stop, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I think it can always get worse. I think America is at its lowest state in modern history.
You need to watch Black Mirror on Netflix. That is so.
I stopped watching that.
It started off like Harry Potter. The first was like kiddie stuff, and then it got darker and darker.
The one that I saw was the one with the guy.
I can't keep watching.
The guy when he was riding the bike and exercising, and that's the first one.
You been watching it too?
I love Black Mirror.
Woo.
I love it.
So I gotta watch it again.
I love it.
We stopped watching because we got caught up on The Wire. I mean, on the Office.
But I think it kind of shows you how things can get worse and worse if you don't
That's why you
Pay
get the
attention.
umbrellas at the protest so they can't identify your face.
Right, but my thing is, how come the black kids didn't have no umbrellas?
Ain't nobody tell them to look at
That's
China.
the point.
Nobody told them to look at China.
There's a
to
meeting.
look at Hong Kong
There's a
as
meeting
model.
before the meeting, and they aren't part of that meeting.
You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio, y'all. We got to wind this thing down. It is WBGX 1570 AM, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, George Stroger.
And
Miss
Ruthie Moore, who says she has a pitchfork and a torch in her basement. She's just waiting.
Ruthie is ready.
She's just waiting.
She like, reinstate the guillotine. Up with the head.
I just think we need radical action. And so what does that look like? I agree with you, Mace. We got to stop letting people control our narrative. But what if we decided to go get our kids and start the revolution?
I want y'all to go take them over to 71st
I
and
said
Pulaski.
we,
71st and Pulaski. Yeah, revolution. Right? Here, the narrative, but also by saying no. By saying no. See, I think why we sit at What's in It for the Black People Radio is because of that same. It's like everybody got a different role in the revolution. Mine is to communicate, right? To talk about it. And I think we got to have these discussions. I want our kids, again, if you want me to get my kids in, then I'm not fighting the Columbus statue. Now, you want me and my kids to go join up? Let me tell you, if you tell me we going over on 71st and Pulaski, and we all going and we going to attack the direct racists that we talking about, right? I'm in.
There it is then.
And I'm saying, let's mount up. Let's not deal with figments of our past. Let's deal with the active, because I'm going to tell you like this. I think that right now we should be thinking about the legacy of Mike Madison. Does he get to put a picture up in the are we going to be walking around 20 years from now saying, man, that racist presided over all of us?
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is you want to take down all the pictures that are in the State House.
well, here's my thing. That would affect racism, active current racism, right? Like, because I'm gonna tell you right now, these white guys, as they're getting older and as they're about to go, they're thinking about their legacy.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to start tarnishing their legacies. I think they need to start thinking like. Don't you telling me about this is all I'm gonna say. Christopher Columbus is cool.
Wait a minute. What does that mean?
Christopher Columbus, I understand it as a symbol.
Oh, yeah.
I do. And I'm not saying it shouldn't come down. If you want to take it down. That ain't black people's fight though. That's white people dealing with their own racist past. So let the Italians and the Irishmen have that.
Sins of our fathers?
Right. Now, for us, the active living symbol of economic racism and terrorism against the black community, we can put a name and a face to it.
I would argue that it's the federal government.
Okay, I'm going to suggest
federal
that.
Government, I always say is they give you something while they're taking something away that's more important.
And I would suggest that, and throughout that, Mike Madigan has found a way to make sure that all of his guys get rich. He has found a way that whatever the federal government has done, 1 for you, 2 for me, 2 for you, 2, 4 for us.
No, I'm not talking about the everybody. I'm talking about the federal government has literally put their foot on our neck.
And I'm with you. And I'm saying that, and then they pass it on, and the guy who volunteers to put the death blow on is Mike Madigan locally. Now, we can fight against it, and here's all I'm going to say. You're fighting against your own self-interest. Like, what we want to do is figure out a narrow way to let him get out, to make him feel okay about his racism.
I don't care about him. I care about what's going to happen next.
Right. So my thing is, right now, what should happen next is we should be putting our foot on his neck, and we should be planning on who is the next speaker. And in the meantime, while we're planning on who's the next speaker, we should be turning him upside down. We should be taking every nickel out of his pocket.
You know that we like to wait until the 11th
white folks
hour, and then we get together and say, what do you think we ought to do?
Well, they're going to say what the white folks said. They suggested, remember? We're going to wind up trying to nominate Mike Carbonargi. No, I'm just saying, we're going to probably, because they're going to say, even from his, right now, even from his, I don't want to say his grave, they still going to be worried about the speaker. Here's what I want to say to you, Ruthie. To all of our young activist people who are out there who I think you advocate for them very well. We got to figure out a way that their interests are aligned with their future, not white people's past. See, these kids are busy helping white folks take down their racist history, their racist past, so they can point back and say it wasn't me. As compared to our young people fighting for their future and their children's future by ensuring that the people that are actively doing it to us aren't there. Look, y'all,
the white people become part of the revolution while the black people become part of the prison
population.
Yeah.
We right. And that $90,000 won't cure that. Hey, so for my co-host, Toy Stroger, for Miss Ruthie Moore, for Sonia Escobar, the music conductor of the Soul Plane, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace. Yo, y'all, and thank you.
Maze. That was a good quote. You said we busy helping the white people fight to dismantle their past, their racist past, instead of our future.
I'm gonna have to go back.
Is that what you? Because that was good, Maze.
Something I'll be coming up with some good ones. I ain't gonna
That was okay.
Hey, that's enough. He got enough ego already.
No, I mean that was just that was well stated.
I just think like they're fighting for. Think about this. All the racist statues that we taking down and stuff. All celebrated by the party. Like, even when you think about the Douglas thing. You're taking down a Democrat.
Very good point.
Now, because what happens is a young child will say, well, wait a minute. The Democrat was for slavery and the Republican wasn't?
But you know what, though? I met a lot of these young kids.
You better learn that in school.
I know a lot of these young kids outside of these organizations. And these orgs give them a purpose. It's giving them structure.
Like joining the gang.
So what?
So we got to put them in the West Center for the
That's what
black
I'm saying.
people.
We got to recruit.
I'm sorry, Maze. You meant to say like join an organization.
Right. right. I'm glad you learned something. Taught you something. Sonia Escobar in the building.
Great show, guys.
Thank you, y'all. Thank y'all.
I'm saying though, I have 120 black babies, right? That want to go protest. I'm like, you worried about Columbus? They don't even teach you about DuSable.
They just want to be, but I think it is a sense of belonging.
They want to belong. They want to be a part of the fight. They want to be a part of something.
I'm tired of being scared for my babies. I'm tired of it.
I
watch the news. Do I see their name?
When you
Miss
learn,
Sonia, come pick me
when
up.
you learn that you have been miseducated and you experience psychic
They're
disequilibrium, you either gonna get mad, you gonna try to re-educate yourself, you might become complacent, but you gonna do something. And so these kids are mad.
I'm gonna tell you, that happened to me in college. Right? When you find out, like, wait a minute.
It's called psychic disequilibrium.
I'm telling you.
Look,
and what did you do, Maze? Did you get mad?
Yeah, I got out in the streets.
You got mad, right?
I got out in the streets. I became active.
So think about all the people who might become apathetic. They might not do nothing. Like, people need an outlet. What was your outlet for your protest? Did you join, like, a organized?
I was in If Not Now. I was in NIA. We turned over cars. We did.
Okay.
Because our time was during the Rodney King era, too. So it was kind of like Rodney King. I had Rodney King and OJ.
Wow. Ooh. Okay.
Plus, we had we shut down the University of Illinois. We locked that. We barricaded the president in his house. He tried to come. We took camp. We camped out on their yard and like, you know who it was me. You know Anita Hutchinson from Village Leadership Academy. Like, you know who were the leaders though? All the suburban kids. Like all the suburban kids who have been miseducated for all the time, and then you got to school and was like, wait, what? Black people straight?
It's hard being miseducated. And when you finally learn, it's like, what you gonna do with the knowledge that you getting, or how do you even get that knowledge? And oftentimes we get it so late, Maze. But my thing is, we gotta get the next generation. Like if I've been miseducated, I can't re-educate the babies underneath me.
Right. Well, I'm saying that's the problem with a lot of like. That to me is the challenge we got. Like we don't have free people who have examples of how to be free. Everybody has learned how to stay right. So one of the reasons I think what we did was so important.
Mm-hmm.
This.
I agree.
Was the demonstration of free people. Like, the demonstration that... And I think it's funny. Like, I even think today the fact that the mayor came on the other show only empowers us more. Like, you never would come because you knew we wasn't going to ask you no fluff-ass questions. So now all of a sudden you got time. I think the concept of... So, they got rewarded for being compliant. Right?
Oh,
so
okay.
So we'll give you her now to the morning show.
Okay.
Now that you did what we asked you to do, so we gonna give you, and then you gonna let.
Gotcha.
And then try. Like, I don't even know how you could do that interview with credibility. Honestly, like the person who asked who even the boss of the whole joint stood up in front of the whole Urban League and was like, man, that brother is about it. And so when he finally asked what's in it for the black people when it's tough, no, you're not coming. So now today, you've been the mayor for a year, and now you done finally made it to the morning show. Why?
You think it's employed to speak to black people, or is it more employed to, okay, he go treat for y'all?
I think it's two things. I think that they underestimated what we had the capability to do. I don't think that they recognized that our audience would come with us. Two, I think they need a big get, right? Okay. So that gives you the big get because everybody tunes in to hear the mayor on the show. But again, if you gonna fluff it, like, Rod, like, you didn't talk about the fact that you antagonized the president all of that time, right? Like, you poked the bear. Like, he didn't have to come here. I'm just saying, you don't even have to bring him up. Now he's here. Now you're upset, but you can't. Now you got to do is you got to clean it up because you told people on national TV you wasn't gonna let him come.
You say you wrote a check they couldn't cash.
Right, and it's like you don't want to answer the question right now. Like, you can try to deflect to Donald Trump and how terrible he is, but the fact of the matter is you wrote a 4-page letter giving him suggestions when he asked you before he sent the people. Remember, he sent you a letter that said I'd be willing to sit down with you, and you MF'd him for it. Remember the letter? He wrote a letter in advance. Like, she's like, to me, she. Right. He sends you a letter. Y'all so busy saying he's disingenuous, blah, 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 blah. So now he says, I give you $1 billion in resources. You ain't got them. What are you doing? I want to work with you. I'll bring all of my department heads. You say, screw you. Okay. Now, since you said screw me, and my police under assault, you got a letter from the head of the FOP, which you left as the only direct contact he has in city government. You told not the chief of police. So you don't, when the president comes, you don't even have a chief of police escort. So you leave him to FOP. So FOP now has the relationship with the federal government. They send a letter saying whether the board agreed or not, the president understands how the president of FOP know how to play politics.
Does the president of the FOP in that role generally represent the narratives and the viewpoint of the police?
Of the rank and file, yes, he does. Okay. Right? Because remember, he only cares about them. He don't give a fuck about a citizen at all.
Okay.
He only gets elected by, so he can be the most racist. Man, he got killed because the more he protects a police officer, everybody sees him in that spot. He doesn't have a duty to the people. So now, we left. So as a black person, your mayor left the communication with the federal government to John Contezara. So the FOP chief now has a better relationship than anybody in the city of Chicago government with the president. Now they're coming. Now the troops are coming. Now you want to write a letter and suggest to him what they should do when he told you 2 weeks ago when he wrote the letter, come tell me, let's work on solutions. If you right there, you jam his ass. You say, okay, let's have a summit. You put that shit on TV. You make him, you show it all. So if he bullshits, you bullshit. But you don't say, I passed up the opportunity. Now, you passed up the opportunity. So now, I send people and you don't got no vote. Now I'm responding to, I sent a letter to you. I didn't send a letter to John Contazar. I sent a letter to you and the governor. Y'all was busy making political hay, so now you said no. But now guess what? Them people out here, and they're going to use all of the shootings and murders. They're not going to go up north. They're going to go up down south. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if she wants it to happen.
Ooh.
Because she has no solution.
Okay.
Then you can blame it on Trump. The thing for Trump is he doesn't lose anything by losing here. So you can blame it on Trump.
I don't totally agree with that assessment. I think that there are a lot of I don't like government running around doing things. And he's gonna to get some of those people who are like, what the heck is he doing?
I would agree with Todd if it was a white male mayor. I think that having a black female LGBT person as the foil takes white people. They don't see her as their auntie. So that takes themselves right.
Yeah, she's not their auntie.
Right, that takes them right out of. They like, I don't see.
But you know, it's interesting. I think a LGBTQ black female mayor represents the dismantling of that white racist power structure that Trump is trying to uphold.
And so I would tell you, Ruthie, that is what I would say that's what I would almost agree with that. But I would say that that's what's going to drive his voters. She becomes the perfect foil. If I want my things to return, and I want things to return normal. Now, I'm going to also tell you who that appeals to.
Gotcha.
Black men. Right? Black men ain't trying to be bowed down to say what you want, but who you don't hear talking at all, black men.
I agree.
Black men are silent on Trump.
I talk to him in secret, and I know how y'all feel.
Take away the activists that's in the.
Are black men still gonna vote? You think?
I think whether they vote or whether they don't vote. Remember, the Democrats been pumping the black woman 99%. Remember, I told you 50% of 99. If 100%, we only got and. They got to push a stupid number to get there, right? I think Trump is depressing the voter turnout, right? I think Joe Biden is only up 15 points. Okay. Now, with everything fucked up, Joe Biden is only up 50. Hillary was up 40. Okay? Now, you got civil unrest all around the country, right? You got white people who are thinking like, I agree with the racism thing, but I don't agree with the police station being burnt.
You don't?
No, I'm saying white people.
Oh, I thought you said. I'm
gonna tell you though. Let me back up. I don't agree with the police station getting burnt either. Okay. Like, I feel like you check the cops, but you don't burn. I paid for that fucking police station.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming out of bond.
I think the whole thing in here is. There's a certain point where it's like, I'm a taxpayer.
Take it too far? Okay.
Right. I'm a taxpayer. Like, I want a police department for all of the things that ain't about white race. Like, I want the police department as the safety spot, the blah, blah. First person people call. Like, now we don't call the police. But I don't feel like...
Well, black people always were a little hesitant about that.
So I feel like the mayor... is playing a short game, and I think that the president I know everybody thinks he's crazy, but I think that there are a lot of people that have a vested interest in his success. The other part I think is people, like a lot of white folks are not, they give a fuck about the racist talk and all that. What they're concerned about is the economy, right? And the economics. And I don't and I think people not know. But there is a feeling, and when I was watching even CNN and Meet the Press, they were saying that Donald Trump will handle the economy better, right? Like over Joe Biden, etc. So I don't think this thing is over. I think that the mayor is giving the president the perfect foil for the rest of America. He can fight her all day long in Illinois, and it will not hurt him. Right? I think Todd...
Yeah, but she's probably thinking the same thing, though.
Yeah, but she's thinking the same thing Here it won't. I mean, and for her mayoral election, I think if he wins, though, she's crushed.
Let me ask you this: do you think this is where she sees herself in the end?
No, I think. Oh, you think? Oh, do you think she
has aspirations?
I think that. I don't think she wants to be governor. I think U.S. Senate is going to be a challenge. I don't think she sees herself. I think she sees herself as a national candidate somewhere. I think she sees herself as bigger than this, and she's trying to play to a national stage.
Right.
I think it doesn't work well. I don't think America has gotten to where she is. I don't think she got elected because she was black LGBT. She got elected because the numbers fell the way that they fell, right? And she was there, and she had I don't think her LGBT-ness was a factor for her, maybe for the Boys Town voters, etc. But what I believe is the challenge for this mayor is that she's got to navigate a complex budget crisis. And I don't know, it's one thing to get $1 billion tax. She's got to increase taxes $1 billion this year to get out of 2020. Then she's got to hit you with another $1 billion next year. Now, everybody keeps talking about the 200, when they say she's going to get sued for the feds. Remember I was saying the ambulance money? She's got a $200 million budget deficit right now that nobody wants to talk about because it's easy to point the finger and say Anthony Beale is crazy and vilify him. But when the math comes out in the wash, again, and you're getting your property tax bill, I think she's got a challenge. Then I think she's going to have a white competitor. I think it's one thing to be the black progressive female when when you're fighting up against Tony Preckwinkle. I think it's another thing. You talk to all of the progressives up north now that were part of the socialists, they'll tell you, they said, man, when I was running against Pat O'Connor, it was one thing, but when I'm running against a white woman, I'm the rapper with the battle rapper, blah, blah, blah. And so I think the racism still plays in all of those spaces. If it's Mays, I find a strong white woman to run against her, right? And then I throw a black man in the race. And like a strong white woman neutralizes her up north. She's fucked. Like a white woman, like a Bridget Gaynor. Now, again, all of them got to keep their heads low right now because she's whacking people. But again, who are her allies? And if you take her natural allies, right, which is, again, you pick a candidate from a white woman from the north side, with some Irish relationships, but can play that is progressive and is futuristic. Again, I think Bridget Gaynor,
and has to have the ability to raise money.
But I think if you get somebody white up north, they're gonna raise money, right? Like if
she's raising their money.
But I'm saying, again,
I mean, in some ways, she might as well be a white woman.
No, you say that until a white woman shows up. That's the whole thing. It's like that's the whole thing. Why not
just take the real thing?
Right. It's like that's the whole thing. You always get the palatable black person that white people find acceptable until they find a white person that is actually white. And so again, I think now, if you have a stroller and you pushing your kid down the street, Lincoln Park, to go get and you know that the wave is coming your way. Right, and Lori is on the side of the protesters. Mm-hmm. Who you siding with?
Ooh.
I think what we've got to recognize is we don't play the whole field. We only want to play half of the field. Right? We want to play baseball from home plate to second base left. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, let's look at the whole field. If this guy hits a ball over here, what's our reaction? Mm-hmm. If a guy hits a ball over here, so we're playing the whole field no matter who hits the ball, we got a plan for it. Mm-hmm. Right now, and I'm saying, Lori, Chicago gives you a warped sense because you're so insulated. And again, imagine she's telling you, I don't want the president, if it's me, I'm doing, if I was and I keep thinking like this. First of all, Trump brought in Karl Rove. Karl Rove, you got to pay attention to But like, I feel like I would love to be, if I decide to run for mayor, I'm writing all my own commercials. Because I mean, I could put the TikTok. Can you imagine taking her doing her spin around TikTok with the backdrop of the violence going on in the city? While the mayor was TikToking her way through, right? You got pictures of bottles, police under assault.
How many people watch TikTok who vote?
A lot.
Back up. It's not watching TikTok. It's me taking the TikTok and putting it in the commercial. So while she's dancing and playing, right, she doing her, right? Now imagine I got videos of the bottles flying and cops, and all the while, Mayor Lightfoot was, right? I would put the TikTok, like I'm gonna tell you.
I don't know, Mace. She's got, you know, well, at this point, she's got the press who seem to like her.
I think she's losing the press.
They bash you
think
for saying something bad about her.
You think she's losing the press?
Mm-hmm. Here's what I think. I think that Todd has a whole different experience. They gotta approach this a different way. But I'm gonna tell you, the more the heavier handed that they get, more people are not liking the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the more, like I'm gonna tell you, there was a lot of outrage from actual press people over what happened for us at VON.
Oh.
Like actual press people was like, wait, what? And your team didn't back you up? Right? And it's like,
see, that's the problem with black folks. We seem to be the only people who don't realize that we're supposed to have a team.
No, we do. We think our team is the white people team.
No, the white people are like your team because they think that black people have a team, but black people are like, who needs a team?
Do y'all think is that a byproduct of integration?
I think it's a byproduct of integration and slavery. Like I think that there's always been a competition. Like
I think it's a byproduct of the opposite of segregation, where you're kept away from so many things for so long, and when you get the opportunity, you're like, I'm running to get that.
Mr. Charlie's Ice, right?
Man,
it's colder.
Well, no, it's just that even though I think there was some of that, but I think that white people have always had the access to things that we never had access to. Or if you wanted access, you better have a car and be able to drive out to Schaumburg to get it.
In my limited life experience, in these 30 plus years, not
30
always.
plus years, you're almost a grandma now.
But listen, but I feel like I've seen too many times black people selling out other black people so that they can have a better life.
Oh, well, yeah.
And so is it a matter, do we have to do collective suffering or do we do collective demand economics?
I guess my question is, how do you sell out? Like, I'm going to tell you sellout. To me, what sellout was what happened here. Like with us. That's a sellout. I don't think if you get an opportunity to do a deal and it's going to make you wealthy that you sold out.
I don't think it's that. I'm talking about just stepping on other black people.
Right. You do something at the demise of somebody else.
Advance. Living example. We ain't going to even say it, but golly. That like I feel like the most ultimate example of that is you. Like, we talk about that. Like, that is one of the situations that makes everybody I know want to pull their hair out. Like, where they literally be like, you on the team against your people. Like that. The thing that made me go crazy, Todd and Ken, was the people who you knew had benefited from them.
Okay.
Whose family had benefited from them. And when it went down to watch them be like they would take the other route. Todd is like I admire Todd, and some days I want Todd to just be mad as fuck. Right? Like I just want Todd to be like just go through and do one of the Three Stooges and just go down the line.
There's one day I'm going to die early. I'm not trying to rush it. Stress. I can only have so much stress in a black body.
And so, I just think that we've got.
Speaking of which, Marlo's sister died of a heart attack. Just similar to my cousin. She had other issues and then had a heart attack.
I'm sorry to hear that. Dad, you just put him on blast, right? Like, you told him, look, he was like, in case you need a confirmation.
In that case, I'm going
to. On that note, we're going to end this set time. I was like, I know how to end this. I'm trying to get home. All right, y'all.
Put this death in there. That always does it.
Goodness gracious.
Morbid.
I was like, there's not a story there, is it? He wasn't. Todd felt like he was like karma or something.
I hope this gig come with a therapist, because I need to process all this stuff.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you. Can I tell you something, Ruthie? I'll be honest with you. Messing with this black stuff can very easily make you go crazy. It can easily, like, there was a time during this whole thing, especially during that Ken stuff, where I feel like I needed a counselor. There was nobody to talk to. There was and when nobody gets it, or when everybody is part of the team, like people who
making you feel crazy.
Yeah,
they
like
was gaslighting you, Maze.
And you can see it.
They was
gaslighting.
gaslighting.
I see it.
Man.
All right, come on.
Y'all, we up out of here. Sonia Escobar. Let's say hello to the people. Hold on, let's say what's up. Sonia, say what's up to the people. Hold on, let me give you a whole shot. I'm gonna give you a whole shot to
take
yourself.
all of them.
I think it's that one. Hold on.
Oh, man, God.
Sonia Escobar, what you got for the peoples?
Nothing, guys. I could eat a steak right now.
Steak right now. Steak right
crazy.
now.
Yeah, I gotta stay out the DMs.
This after show, right?
Huh?
I said, this wasn't it for the black people dating?
Y'all in the they all in your box. Oh, y'all better stay up out the boxes.
Pun intended.
Oh, dang.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Everybody's like in the after show.
After the show is the after party. She watching y'all. Good show.